Hey y'all, that was a little different. Sorry, I was playing with buttons in StreamYard, and there's now like this spot where you can add your intro and your outro right to a spot. And when you hit the live button, it says go live and play your intro. Well, it just randomly fires in the hole. So that's why that happened. But kind of cool. I just like saying hello before I hit that button usually. So, but anyways, hey Rocky, hey Bo, hey Avi, Pika, Cranky, Amy, Terry, me, Benny Ray, Connie, Marcy, Jenny's Mixed Media Journals, PJ Second Chance, Diana, Tonka Girl, Nicole, Maria, Connie, S. Francisco, Grace, Teresa, Revival. Okay, first and foremost, a warning to those that are going to be coming in. This is going to touch politics. It's going to. I'm sorry if you take offense to that. However, Beddy is going to be talking about it. So I'm going to be coming back with some factual statements about things that are going on. This is not about who you voted for. Okay, let's get over that. Right here, right there. We're all buckled up for the ride. No matter what the situation may be at this point in time, we all have to buckle in and ride it out together. So it's not a them versus us situation, okay? Like, that's just not what we're dealing with here. But we're dealing with misinformation, factual misinformation by people like Beddy. It is not open for discussion, really. I mean, you can discuss it in the comment section, but as far as like people's who you voted for, like that's not what we're talking about. That's not the discussion that we're having. We're over that part. So this is more about the extremist nature, and it's just how it is. I mean, I don't know, like people are so sensitive to any type of backlash or repercussions or any type of statements around politics or anything like that. And I don't fucking care. This is going on and we're going to talk about it and we're going to be talking about it. These are things that no matter what we're in for, we all are along for the fucking ride. So I guess the best way to handle it is to be as factual as possible. But you know, Beddy can't do that. So if this isn't for you, please check out. And Cantonio is here with me today.
What's up, bitches?
You're going to get in trouble for that one now. Off the bat. He says bitch is a term of endearment.
No, I don't.
Well, when you come to Beddy. Kyle is with us, so it's going to be a conversation, but
hey, Pika.
We're going to talk about it.
Hey,
because obviously Kyle got under some skin last night with a few of his comments. Yes, please listen with an open mind. And do your own research. Like who you like, but do it based on the facts and not people like Beddy. So there's that. All right. It's a daytime live with Kyle. We're probably getting canceled after this. Hey, Steph.
Hey, Will.
And Kyle
Rocky.
is rip raring to go, let me tell you.
I had my coffee.
He's had his coffee. Christy says, you're the stupid girls of YouTube.
There's an apostrophe, dumb shit.
You're coming in my comment section saying, YOUR, the stupid girls of YouTube. Christy, please tap out. You're making this too easy. You forgot an apostrophe there. And calling me stupid definitely does not bother me or hurt my sensitivities. Yeah, Danny, that is very true. That's why we are where we're at, in my opinion. So why do people do this stuff? Why do they do themselves like this? Like, Frame, I don't know. I have no idea. It's been going. I don't keep up to date on the ins and outs of that. I know that they have court coming up, so I could not. Yes, MJ, it is. And I definitely try not to be the grammar police because I'll go in a comment section and just throw shit. Like, I don't care when I'm typing, but when you come in my comment section saying you're the stupid girls of YouTube. First of all, I'm not a girl. I'm a woman. Like, I'm old, okay? I'm definitely not the grammar police, but just stop embarrassing yourselves, people. Seriously. And one more shout out. I want to give a shout out right quick. I actually dropped it in my description of a suggested video. Let me tell you the name of the channel right quick before I get it all fucked up. I also shared it on my community tab. The channel's called Breaking Chains True Crime, Breaking Chains TC. I didn't know that that was Lynn from the other channels. I had no idea that that was her when I watched it last night until somebody told me. I was like, oh, well, shit, no wonder why it's good. Excellent video. People started sharing that with me last night. Me and a few others watched it last night, and then some of my amazing mods, Pika, and others shared it with me this morning too. Like, all of us were watching it, but very well laid out video. Thought-provoking for sure, and I encourage you to watch it. So it is linked in the description of this video. She worked hard on that video, and I want you guys to go over to her channel, sub up if you would like to, and engage with that video, because that is a video that I think needs to be seen. So yes. Okay. Are we all ready? Everybody's helmets buckled up. Breaking Chains. It's good to see you. Excellent video. Very, very good video. And I will keep sharing it out too. And I totally understand why you've had enough of it already after one. I totally get that too. Frame. Yeah, I'm not sure how long that whole court case will go. Like I said, I haven't followed it in depthly because to me, in the very beginning of it, it just seemed like a lot. Burnt Toast could probably give you more of a, or Queen Bee or Beddy. I mean, wherever. I just don't follow it like that to even know the ins and outs. This is something else. Oh, and one more thing. Sinner, if you hear this, everybody sit down before you hear me say this, because some of you might have missed something yesterday, which is totally fine. But Sinner, if you hear this and you would like to have a discussion, I would gladly have a discussion with you publicly. We could do it on your channel or mine. Doesn't matter. But I think there's a lot of things that you probably don't know that I've avoided talking about, or don't get myself involved in. I might have strong opinions on those things, but there's a reason why I stay out of this stuff. But it seems like there's a disconnect between you and I. And I think you really kind of did want to understand my perception on things. So I would be more than willing to have a one-on-one discussion with you and set things straight and kind of open up Pandora's box of things I haven't touched or talked about publicly. But please understand, with doing that, it's going to be a discussion about people you might like or sit next to, or on YouTube, people assume you sit next to, if that makes any sense. But I would like to have that discussion if you are open to it, because there's been a lot of things that have happened that I personally despise and dislike out here from a lot of creators. And I think you might miss like where I don't get involved. So I would love to have that discussion if you would like to. Either or, your channel, my channel, doesn't matter to me. And no, I was not offended at all. Your comment section doesn't bother me one bit. Those people that came in there, I will say this though. I will say one thing. BJ seems to talk real tough when she's got an audience that she thinks are going to back her. Like, she gets really, really aggressive in comment sections of Tiffany Marie's, Sinners, other places where she thinks there's going to be this like backup of her. And it cracks me up. I sit there, I can't even respond to her most of the time because it's comedy gold. She thinks that she's going to have all this backing. And I'm like, whoa, where'd this energy come from? And if you want to have a one-on-one conversation, you're welcome to tell me to drop you a link anytime. I'll drop you a fucking link anytime. Anytime. Trust and believe. I've kind of hit that fuck around and find out stage of, you guys want my opinion so bad? Let me tell you. but chances are it's going to open up Pandora's box of things that they would rather not talk about, like past behavior of people that they hang out with and things I disagree with. So if we want to get it all out on the playing field, every bit of it, I'm game for that, but it's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will also come with facts of what I disagree with, and it'll be a wide variety of a lot of shit. So there's that. Anyways, okay, carrying on. Let's get into what we're going to talk about. I just wanted to throw a few of those things out, but Sinner was respectful to me. I don't have no, there's nothing there for me. So that was no problem. But if he wants to carry on that conversation, I would gladly. It'll just be everything that you probably don't want me to talk about publicly again. So there's that. And I'm not just talking about Sinner at all. In fact, I couldn't even really tell you a whole lot about him in particular, but let's get to Beddy. All right, here we go. Are you ready, babe?
Not particularly.
Kyle's already stretching like he's gonna get a workout here. Kyle's over here like stretching it. This is Beddy from this morning.
And I think I finally just fell out about, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock last night. So we had plenty of sleep at 4 a.m. this morning, and now she's down for the count. She played and ate and did her business this morning. Good morning, y'all. This is Bullhorn Beddy signing in to Thursday. Lots of stuff going on in the news. We're going to be touching base. Hey, Don, busy mommy, mama, Amy, MJ, Emma, One Sock, S Dot. It's nice to see you.
Land the plane.
Garrett, it's nice to see you. I know. Delilah's on her own thing. Brenda, good morning. I think it might have been you. I did get my package. It was so funny.
Okay, I am fast forwarding. I'm fast forwarding to save Kyle.
It's nice to see you all. Yes, Miss Delilah. She woke me up this morning.
So one thing you will notice, I'm going to preface this by saying this as she goes into this. She will not talk shit to me. You'll notice that. There's been a few very specific times, but we know she watches because her end screen of videos often is my videos. So she watches a lot of what I do and say. And she will respond to things I do and say, such as our talk and our giggling over Matt Gaetz. She's going to bring up Matt Gaetz today. She will not talk shit to me, but she'll bring up the topics and like try to bounce off of them or like scurry around them after I say something in response. But she will not do what she does with a lot of other channels with me. It's fucking comedy gold. I love it.
And she kept wanting to put a shirt on. It was funny because I haven't had that Trump shirt on her for like since the day after election. You know, she wore it for 2 days.
Allie, we've got screenshots of like the end, you know how it shows like the videos that you've watched and stuff. We've got video or screenshots of my videos being her end screen. It's hysterical.
And so then she takes it yesterday morning when she wakes up and just like tosses it at me. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess she wants it on. So I put it on. And it's like this morning she was fighting with me taking it off. And I'm like, it's dirty. I've got to get you something else on. So we got her in a cute little pink dress that says, oh my gosh, I'm too cute. I thought it was perfect. I'm having to fight with my dog to wash her clothes.
You asked what the fuck the dog was doing last night too.
Oh, she's such a cutie pie, though. What can I say? It's hard to wake up on the wrong side of the bed when you have this cute little thing looking at you and licking you. She's such a little baby. Such a little baby.
Poor dog.
She loves it. Say hi. You want to say hi? You're awake. You're not sleeping. Say hi to everybody. Say, oh my gosh, I'm too cute. Look at that little baby. Look at Mama. Okay. She slept that long for you? She's going to be going with me. She's got all her back on. When she goes and sits on the potty pad, I take her at home. I was, working full time, And so I was really nervous. I was scared she was going to chew on my shoes because it came for me when it came to Delilah because I got cords everywhere. And I'm like, am I going to have to start picking up my cords? It came for me.
Oh my God.
I've got them in the office. I got them here you never know where I'm going to go live from. So I've got cords literally everywhere. And I buy, extra like cords for the computers and stuff. So I don't have to, hunt down cords and they're everywhere I need them. And I even have
I'm saving us some headache.
Have, additional cords in my backpack that I take traveling with. It's been just a blessing. She hasn't given me literally any problems. The worst problems we've had is her teeth, her baby teeth aren't falling out. And I've got to have them be that just loves to be around mommy. And there she is. She says, hi, guys. And she barks at the doorknob. The only way I get her to bark.
That's the most intelligent I've seen from her yet.
She's such a cute little baby. I can't wait to see her get to a full-grown doggy. I bet she's going to be the best of the best of the best. She's
8 minutes in. 8 minutes in, and we're still just treading water here.
Anyways, getting on to other things. Sebastian Rogers and other important news. We get so kind of caught up in a case or two that we kind of let things go by the wayside, and I try to inform the audience. So we're going to take just a few minutes to go over a couple different things. One's going to be political in nature, and it's just because it's getting a firestorm of people. Detective Delilah. A firestorm of people talking about this.
I wonder why. I wonder why a firestorm of people from both sides of the aisle are cringing at the thought of Matt Gaetz or a Fox. Anyways, we'll get there. Matt
Gaetz. There's been a lot of people nominated by President-elect Donald J. Trump to be, of authority on certain matters. Pete Hegseth, I've met him. What a freaking great guy. He's very, very, very knowledgeable. He's got some really great ideas. People are dogging on.
He's got some great ideas, huh? He's got some great ideas. So Hegseth is who Trump is choosing for. How many of you guys know or are following this? Defense Secretary. So we're going to go to the AP for a moment. President-elect Donald Trump stunned the Pentagon and his broader defense world by nominating Fox News host Pete Hegseth to serve as his defense secretary, tapping someone largely inexperienced and untested on the global stage to take over the world's largest and most powerful military. The news was met with bewilderment and worry among many in Washington as Trump passed on a number of established national security heavy hitters and chose an Army National Guard major, well known in conservative circles as a co-host of Fox News Channel's Fox and Friends Weekend. While some Republican lawmakers had a muted response to the announcement, others called his combat experience an asset or said he was tremendously capable. Hegseth's choice could bring sweeping changes to the military. He made it clear on his show and in interviews that, like Trump, he is opposed to woke programs that promote equity and inclusion. He also has questioned the role of women in combat and advocating pardoning service members charged with war crimes. In June, at a rally in Las Vegas, Trump encouraged his supporters to buy Hegseth's book and said that if he won the presidency, the woke stuff will be gone within a period of 24 hours, I can tell you. The 44-year-old Hegseth, a staunch conservative who embraces Trump's America First policies, has pushed for making the military more lethal. During an interview on the Sean Ryan Show podcast, he said allowing women to serve in combat hurts that effort. Everything about men and women serving together makes the situation more complicated, and complication in combat, that means casualties are worse, Hegseth said. And while he said diversity in military is a strength, he said it was because minority and white men can be perform similarly, but the same isn't true for women. By opening combat slots to women, we have changed the standards and putting them there, which means you've changed the capability of that unit, Hegseth said in a podcast interview. Since then, Defense Secretary Ash Carter opened all combat roles to women in 2016. Women have successfully passed the military's grueling test to become Green Berets and Army Rangers and the Naval Special Warfare's test to serve as a combatant craft crewman, the boat operators who transport Navy SEALs and conduct their own classified missions at sea. While Trump lauded Hegseth as tough, smart, and a true believer in American First, others were quick to point to the TV personality's lack of experience. Some suggested he could be Pentagon chief in name only, as the Trump White House runs the department. A number of names floated as possible defense choices that had included Mike Rogers, chairman of the House Armed Services Committee. Keith Kellogg, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. Joni Ernst. Robert Wilkie, a former Pentagon official who was head of Department of Veterans Affairs in Trump's first term. There is a reason for concern that this is not a person who is serious enough policymaker, serious enough policy implementer to do a successful job, said Representative Adam Smith of Washington, the ranking Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. There's a whole shit ton about Hegseth in general and the lack of experience, his quotes about children in cages. There's just a whole lot of controversial things, and you can feel however you want to. It's got to go, these nominations have to go before Senate, so on and so forth. But Hegseth compared to Gaetz is kind of the least of my worries, but you can go read the rest of that article if you would like to. I just figured I would remind people of who this is and what she's talking about in case you didn't know.
Him because he's Fox News. Bottom line is that man has fought in wars. He's highly decorated and highly educated. I mean, he has an education that goes right behind his great career in the military. And I think that he's got a strong head on him. He's been in this stuff and subversion.
Well, funny, he doesn't think the same of you, but carry on.
This stuff. But apparently it's the Matt Gaetz that's really getting under some people's skin, because Matt Gaetz was, I guess, under ethics. Everybody. And
I wonder why Matt Gaetz would get under people's skin. Anybody question why?
In Washington's under some form of ethics investigation. I mean, this is
and no, that's not true. Not everybody in Washington is under ethics investigations.
The crap that they deal with.
I mean, 75% of one side or the other at a time, maybe.
Very true, Thor.
And not only that, but like they were talking.
And that's not actual. I'm being a smart ass on that, so I'm not giving actual statistics.
Talking about him being in ST type of stuff. It's like those were unfounded claims.
Let's talk about that for a moment, because people seem to like to forget what actually happened. So we're going to go back to 2021 for a moment. A Florida politician. Oh, actually, hold on. I don't even have to read this one. I think this one's. Nope, I do have to read this one. Florida politician who emerged as a central figure in the Justice Department's sex trafficking investigation into Matt Gaetz pleaded guilty Monday to 6 federal charges and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors as a part of a plea deal. Joel Greenberg, a longtime associate of Gaetz, appeared in federal court in Orlando. He pleaded guilty to 6 of the nearly 36 charges he faced, including sex trafficking of a minor. And he admitted that he had paid at least one underage girl to have sex with him and other men. Gaetz was not mentioned in the plea agreement or during the court hearing, but Greenberg's cooperation as a key figure in the investigation and close ally of Gaetz may escalate the potential legal and political liability that the firebrand Republican congressman is facing. Federal prosecutors are examining whether Gaetz and Greenberg paid underage girls in escorts or offered them gifts in exchange for sex. According to 2 people familiar with this matter, investigators have also been looking at whether Gaetz and his associates tried to secure government jobs for some of the women, the people said. They're also scrutinizing Gaetz' connections to the medical marijuana sector, including whether his associates sought to influence legislation Gaetz sponsored. The people had knowledge of the investigation, but were not allowed to publicly discuss the ongoing investigation and spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity. Gaetz has denied the allegations and any accusation of wrongdoing and has said repeatedly he will not resign from Congress. Well, wouldn't you know he resigned from Congress? A spokesman for the congressman said that Gaetz never had sex with a minor and has never paid for sex.
Liar.
During the nearly hour-long hearing Monday, Greenberg acknowledged he understood the charges he was pleading guilty to and the possible punishment he faced, and told the judge he was of a sound frame of mind. U.S. Magistrate Judge Leslie Hoffman told Greenberg that even though prosecutors may request some leniency from his sentencing judge because of his cooperation, there was no guarantee a judge would agree to the prosecutor's recommendations that Greenberg would be unable to change his plea. No sentencing date was immediately set. Monday's court appearance marked the first time Greenberg has been seen in court since the Gaetz investigation blew into the public spotlight in March. Outside the courthouse, a plane flew over during the hearing, pulling a banner that read, "TikTok, Matt Gaetz." After the hearing, Greenberg was taken back to jail in handcuffs and shackles, wearing a dark inmate uniform and looking worn down. As part of this plea deal, Greenberg, a Republican who served as a tax collector in Seminole County, admitted he recruited women for commercial sex acts and paid them more than $70,000 from 2016 to 2018, sometimes through online payment services like Venmo. They include at least one underage girl he paid to have sex with him and others, the plea agreement says. Prosecutors wrote in the plea agreement that Greenberg had introduced the girl to others who also engaged in commercial sex acts with her. The agreement does not identify the men, though. Greenberg first met the girl online from a website where she was posing as an adult, and he first paid her $400 after a meeting on a boat, the document said. He later invited her to hotels in Florida where he and others would have sex with her and supplied her and other people with ecstasy, according to the plea deal. In total, prosecutors say Greenberg had sex with the girl at least 7 times. Greenberg's legal scrutiny began when he was arrested last summer on charges of stalking a political opponent, Brian Butte. Prosecutors said he mailed fake letters to the school where his opponent worked, signed by a non-existent, very concerned student who alleged the opponent had engaged in sexual misconduct with another student. I wouldn't want to be him, Butte, who showed up at the courthouse on Monday, said after the hearing. Greenberg is also accused of embezzling $400,000 from the Seminole County Tax Collector's Office, according to the indictment filed against him. That was just a look back at 2021, but let's look over here. Oh, wait, is there more about Matt Gaetz? Oh, there sure is. Not only his associations, but people on his own side, like the Republican aisle, know what Matt is. But people don't want to talk about it. Beddy's just like, there's nothing behind this. President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General, Matt Gaetz of Florida, was once emboldened in a sex trafficking investigation by the Justice Department he's been tapped to lead, and has been under scrutiny by the House Ethics Committee over allegations, including sexual misconduct. That probe effectively ended Wednesday, though, when Gaetz resigned from Congress. You just heard him say in 2021 he never resigned from Congress. You know what happens when you resign from Congress? The investigation goes away. Gaetz, a staunch Trump defender, has spent years enmeshed in scandals that threatened to derail his confirmation as the nation's top federal law enforcement officer by the Republican-led Senate. Gaetz has vehemently denied any wrongdoing and said last year that the Justice Department's investigation into sex trafficking allegations involving underage girls had ended with no federal charges against him. Trump's attorney general is expected to oversee radical changes to the Justice Department, which has been the target of Trump's ear over 2 criminal cases it brought, accusing him of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election and hoarding classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Trump, who cast himself as the victim of politically motivated prosecutions, vowed repeatedly on the campaign trail to carry out retribution against his political enemies if returned to the White House. What? I smell BS?
Yeah.
Did I say he was guilty? I'm reading you an article. For somebody with the name of I Smell BS, you should be able to smell BS right here, right? On the political specter.
And they have the Venmos that he sent the cash to.
I mean, because
for college tuition is what he sent it for.
Yeah, I mean. Anyways, you can like him all you want. Please go sit with those people. You probably also like the sound of freedom. I mean, there's that. It's unlikely Gaetz would be confirmed in time to oversee special counsel Jack Smith, who brought 2 federal indictments against Trump that are both expected to wind down before the incoming president takes office. Smith is expected to leave his post before Trump takes office, but special counsels are expected to produce reports on their work that historically are made public, and it remains unclear when such a document might be released. In a statement Wednesday announcing his pick, Trump said Gaetz would root out systemic corruption, at the Justice Department and return the department to its true mission of fighting crime and upholding our democracy and Constitution. Yeah, Gaetz is definitely the man for that job. You know what's funny is experienced, respected Republicans are finding it laughable that Gaetz was nominated or picked by Trump. A lot of them are speaking out against this, not just me with a lowly YouTube channel here. Like, people in the White House know what a clown this guy is. But, oh well. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, Gaetz wrote, "It will be an honor to serve as Trump's Attorney General." Hours before the announcement, Gaetz said in a social media post that there needs to be a full court press against this weaponized government. He added, "And if that means abolishing every one of the 3-letter agencies." Oh, was somebody else mentioning 3 things that were demolished in their rants last night in the crazy letter they were writing?
Yeah.
Oh, from the FBI to the ATF, I'm ready to get going. If confirmed as Attorney General, he would oversee both the FBI and the ATF, formerly known as the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. Inside a private meeting of the House of Representatives, the news that Trump had chosen Gaetz to lead the Justice Department sent a shock. Republican Mike Simpson of Idaho said he has a hard time believing Gaetz will be able to get through the Senate confirmation process. Oh, wait, is that a Republican? Yeah, it is. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska said she didn't believe Gaetz was a serious candidate. Some of Gaetz' allies in the House defended him as Trump's pick, pointing to his experience as a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Asked Wednesday whether she thinks Gaetz could be confirmed, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, a fellow Florida Republican, told reporters that many will try to smear him, but the evidence will speak for itself. The federal sex trafficking investigation that began under Attorney General Bill Barr during Trump's first term focused on allegations that Gaetz and a one-time political ally, Joe Greenberg, paid underage girls and escorts or offered them gifts in exchange for sex. Greenberg, a fellow Republican who served as the tax collector in Florida's Seminole County, admitted as part of a plea deal with prosecutors in 2021 that he paid women and an underage girl to have sex with him and other men. The men were not identified in the court documents when he pleaded guilty. Greenberg was sentenced in late 2022 to 11 years in prison. I mean, there seems to be a constant.
Well, why did he get sentenced to prison if there's just no proof?
Well, that doesn't mean Matt had any involvement in it, though.
Of course not.
It doesn't mean that there was
If
a plea to keep things off. Yeah, definitely not. I mean, there's even his buddies have shunned him.
You're fucking lost, dude. Like, there's enough.
This isn't one of those extremist people that just no matter what side, if they say it's true. The problem is money and power. These people get away with all sorts of shit constantly.
Means that P. Diddy's going to be their candidate in 28.
Probably. Why would you even want somebody that's alleged to have these type of allegations? Like, why would you even want that?
Or liable of sexually assaulting a woman against her will.
Why would you even, like, okay, I guess we live in a different world because I'm over here going, there are so many other people that are classified to do this, have the experience, the education, all of the things to serve our country. But I guess it's not about serving the people, right? When you could pick anybody that doesn't have allegations against them like this. I mean, why not go with all the people that do these things? Hell. Federal investigators scrutinized the trip that Gaetz took to the Bahamas with a group of women and a doctor who donated to his campaign, and whether the women were paid or received gifts to have sex with the men, according to people familiar with the matter who were not allowed to publicly discuss the investigation. Prosecutors also investigated whether Gaetz and his associates tried to secure government jobs for some of the women and scrutinized Gaetz' connections to the medical marijuana sector, including whether his associates sought to influence legislation Gaetz sponsored. The people have said Gaetz had remained under investigation by the House Ethics Committee over allegations that he was part of a scheme that led to the sex trafficking of a 17-year-old girl. The committee began its review of Gaetz in April of 2021, deferred its work in response to a Justice Department request, and renewed its work shortly after Gaetz announced the Justice Department had ended a sex trafficking investigation. Over the summer, the committee provided an unusual public update into its long-running investigation, saying its review now includes whether Gaetz engaged in sexual misconduct and illicit drug use, accepted improper gifts, and sought to obstruct government investigations of his conduct. Gaetz has categorically denied all the allegations before the committee. Representative Mike Guest, the Republican chair of the House Ethics Committee, had told the Associated Press that Gaetz' nomination did not change the panel's ongoing probe, but Gaetz' resignation means the committee will no longer have jurisdiction to continue its probe. Seeing people defend Matt Gaetz is comedy gold and disgusting, to say the least, because there are plenty of Republicans, plenty of conservatives that don't have allegations like this that would do far better for the people. And if you're offended by that, please be offended by my stance that Matt Gaetz is a piece of shit. And I will continue to have my stance. Yeah, that's true. They're not the extremist cult followers. But let's get back to Beddy and thinking that it's laughable that people have a problem with Matt Gaetz being appointed.
And why he's never been charged. It's because it's bullcrap. And we know this playbook, right? I mean, it's the same hate. I mean, our hate channels use the same playbook. It's all about smearing the person. They knew if something happened and Trump was elected, that you know, Matt has been a good.
She doesn't even know what she's talking about.
Staunch supporter. He's been on. I mean, he literally flies in the plane with Trump.
Yeah, he's picking people that are loyal to him as a person, not loyal to our country. Make that make sense. You're America first, right, Beddy? For the people, but you're not even realizing that he's picking people that are loyal to him, not because of their backgrounds or their education or their experience or what they can help do for policies to progress America, right? Yeah.
Trump at times. I've seen him at Mar-a-Lago. I've spoken to him at Mar-a-Lago. I know he was eyeballing possibly becoming the governor. And I really want Byron Donalds. You know, I haven't heard if Donald Trump has put Byron Donalds in there, but as far as Florida is concerned, I want Byron Donalds. I want Byron Donalds for our governor. If Byron Donalds isn't willing to run, I want Matt Gaetz. And now we've got Matt Gaetz that's going to be overseeing I think it's the FBI or whatever he's going.
I can't even believe that people are fumbling with this. Old school conservatives, true Republicans do not support this. Let me say that. Old school, amazing, well-rounded, educated, common sense do not accept what Matt Gaetz and his buddies do. They do not. This new age cult type mentality, nah. Bullshit.
Going to be, no, he's going to be the attorney general. That's right, the attorney general. And I think that's going to be great. I mean, he is an attorney. I knew it was going to be a toss-up between Matt Gaetz and Pam Bondi, honestly. Pam Bondi's also flown in the plane with President-elect, and she's been a staunch supporter for Donald J. Trump as well. So those are things that I do know. I am kind of surprised at some of the picks. I honestly believe that
Calval, our attorney general here, is ready to go to toe-to-toe. She is ready for whatever has to come to protect the citizens of Arizona. She did an amazing interview, I think last week, about her stance on all this stuff. And that's the thing is, like, this is where it comes to. It's not us versus them, like side to side type of thing. These are extremists that people are just like, oh yeah, because Trump says they're okay. These people have been accused of heinous things. And a lot of them, there's proof in their own statements to colleagues on the House floor that are very damaging. His own party doesn't want him. His own party doesn't want him. But Beddy out here, you know, because her little written script from her buddies over there mentioned that they're in talks with incoming Attorney General, which would be Matt Gaetz, of course. And who do you call when you need a fixer for a scandal? Well, Mr. E told us that that's what you call Nick the Hat for. And anybody wonders why Nick the Hat has connections to some of the politicians he does? Bill Cosby, ring a bell? Sylvester Stallone, ring a bell? What were all of these people alleged to have done and accused of? Think about it, people. People don't want me to talk about this stuff. People don't want to talk about. Yeah, I don't vote straight ticket either. At all. Especially nowadays. I can't. Nope.
Marco Rubio would never never meet the cut. I was literally floored and blown away that Marco Rubio got the cut. I was telling a friend on the way back, I said, they're like, do you think he's going to do? I said, Marco? Absolutely not. There's no way. So, but I've also seen, some other stuff. The other one is Gabbard, Tulsi Gabbard. She was a prior Democrat from
Don't even get me started.
Hawaii that turned Republican, and she kind of walked away from her party. She's part of the walkaway camp. So, I think that the picks are wise, honestly. They're not establishment. They're people that are more.
They're wise. These picks are wise. These picks are wise for the country. How?
How does a woman get behind people that sexually assault women and children?
I don't know.
How the fuck is this possible?
These men that she is like cheering on have said that she is not even, her opinion, her voice doesn't even matter, let alone
they don't even want you to vote, Betty.
Yeah, it's astonishing to me. But cheer it on, Betty. Cheer it on.
In line with statesmen, which we talk about very, very, very limitedly on this channel because we're not a political channel. We are a true crime channel. But at the end of the
And by the way, if this in my political stance here on this and how this does not help us as a country bothers you, please hit that unsub button, because I live in a household with a man who is absolutely protective of his girls, of the women in our home, and our rights. And he is staunchly supportive of that. And he is pissed.
We have special needs girls that are going to probably lose their education because the Department of Education is getting abolished.
And that's what ensures your IEPs.
Girls that have been sexually assaulted, molested, everything. I stand up for women and women's rights. And
he has no shame in doing it.
It's not even a fucking question.
No shame in doing it. And if you have a problem with that, unsub for my channel, because we're not going to change to fit into anybody's extremist views of supporting this shit, period. Women are dying. Exactly.
If you want to go back to the old ways, the old school conservative Republicans where everybody's fighting about like the corporate tax rate, shit like that, that's fine. We can have those discussions all day. But when you start letting people get away with sexually assaulting women, and not only that, putting them in office, that's where the line needs to be drawn.
Told you Kyle was home today. And we've got the time. Let's let Beddy carry on.
Today, I really think that these are people that want to help the country and actually have the experience and knowledge to help do that. This idea that we have to take these established.
I have a relative that has more experience. That would be more. I have a very, very close relative that has more experience than some of these fools. And guess what? They don't have any sexual assault allegations either.
Cal, you're
Nothing even close.
You're dead on with that one.
This is just astonishing.
People, most of these people that are in the establishment, honestly, don't know their ass from a hole in the wall because they're establishment. They only know what their side has done and it wants to do. We're talking about people that aren't politicians. And you know what? At the end of the day, I think if we move these career politicians out of the way, we might.
There absolutely needs to be term limits. There absolutely needs to be an age cap, in my opinion. These are my opinions. But she doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about. Not even remotely close. And how are these people going to benefit us? They're not. They're being brought in because they're Trump loyalists. That's it. It's not about doing what's best for the country. It's about doing what's best for Trump. Again, you can like the man, but let's be fucking honest about what this is. Especially because old school Republicans that are still in the House and Senate, you know, in the White House, are saying the exact same things. This isn't what they want. This is not a representation of old school conservatives or Republicans. This is a whole new offshoot, a new generation that have completely gone rogue.
Be able to get something done for this country. I really do. The people that are being put in place in many cases are career politicians. Some may say that Matt Gaetz is. I disagree in part. I disagree in part. I don't disagree fully, but I disagree in part. You know,
you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about to agree or disagree.
Try to be fair about it, but I like the guy. I've always liked the guy. And I think that this is going to be good. I think if we can get everybody just to give the president-elect what he wants, I have a funny feeling this country will be so much better. Just my opinion. I know you people don't like his commentary or some of the things that he says in Twitter. Let's face it, those things, that ship sailed a while ago. We don't see those.
Yeah, you definitely don't see those things.
Are you fucking joking? No, it's on Truth Social now.
Things very much anymore. I don't think the banter is going to stop, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm not here for the banter. I'm here for the policies that are going to.
You don't even fucking know what policies are, and you're about to make a big old fucking ass of yourself, and it's amazing about gas prices.
Allow me and the people around me to thrive. I don't have to like the person if I like their policies. And I think a lot of people have come to that conclusion as well, because let's face it, he would never have been able to win without people crossing over.
I love this comment section today. Love this comment section. There's a few randos, don't care. I love the fact that you guys stand up for each other and human rights. Human rights. Whether you're conservative, liberal, whatever you identify as, you're not stupid to believe all the bullshit that Beddy and other people like her are pushing out here. I don't care what side of the aisle you vote on or anything like that. What I care about is our fellow humans, and the fucking propaganda and rhetoric that they're pushing is not true.
The lines, you know, because he would need a portion of he would need the independents as well as the Democrats to push him over the line. So it sounds like even the mom and pops are saying, you know, we've had enough. This is strangling us. It's clear that people need and want change. Whether a lot of people disagree with that or not, the majority of this country have spoken.
Oh, Jesus.
They need change. They can't afford what has been created for us.
What's scary is if you think about that, the majority of the country is in a cult type mentality.
Path forward under one, you know.
And I could go on either side. So before you say that, the extremists on the other side get a little culty too. At times. But they're just not as extreme on something. I don't know. Right now it's all fucking whiplash.
Camp is going to cause a lot more pain and suffering. Our children are the ones that are going to suffer from this. The American dream right now in the environment.
Our children are going to suffer from this. Really? What do you think his policy on immigration is going to do? It's going to fucking skyrocket prices. It's going to cripple the economy in certain things. Oh, God. Do you have that TikTok from that guy in Texas?
We're in for our children is gone.
The other one.
There's no way that they would be able to afford the life that is being created. I mean, heck, we've been working our entire lives, and Everything's been
Oh,
sucked out of us.
difference.
You know, we're at our busting point. The American people can't take any more. And I think that was clear in this election.
Danny, she's about to give a perfect display of that right here.
But those are just my opinions. Those are my opinions about some of the members that he wants to nominate for certain positions. I really do believe that he's going to try very, very hard to get it right.
What really pisses me off on the internet, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think today, is so many people will talk about Beddy, right? There's a few of us that will talk about some of her rhetoric and her propaganda. But most people will avoid this shit that she talks about, won't counter her on any of this shit. And she does a whole spin of fear mongering. And her audience just salivates over the misinformation that she pushes, just like she's about to do about the gas prices. Yes, that one. We'll play that one too.
And I think we're going to have I think the first thing we're going to see almost immediately is lower gas. I think that is
she thinks the first thing we're going to see is lower gas. So I'm going to let her talk through this, and then I'm going to show you some factual information from an account I absolutely love, way over my brain waves, but he's incredible. He's factual, and he does a ton of debunking of the bullshit.
A major piece in bringing a lot of the costs down, because once our gas prices are down, the shipping for wood, for all the materials that we have will start coming down. They're going to have to, because they're not spending those
except for the tariffs, you fucking idiot.
How is she like?
We're going to be spending 20% more to buy steel from China, 20% more for lumber from Canada, and we're getting rid of 30% of the construction workforce. Are you fucking insane?
Wanderlustine, it's good to see you. Oh, Elma, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. I was telling Kyle, it was like she did it again. Like she did it again. And it's the stupidity. These are things that she says that need to be countered. They need to be countered. And a lot of people, because they don't want to go politics, they don't want to do that. They don't want to hurt people's feelings. They don't want to get into this back and forth. We need to have these discussions, because no matter what, we've got to strap in for the ride. But we need people to understand what we are in for with people like this pushing this fucking nonsense. This is not factual.
Exorbitant cost to fuel. So I think that having that come down almost immediately, I think that will save all Americans across the country, lots and lots of money right there, just on their own personal getting to and from work. If they travel for work, all these things, airfare, bus, everything's going to be a lot cheaper when the gas starts coming down. And that's going to help the truckers that bring supplies in, fruits, vegetables, meats. Those things will start coming down.
All she does is spin the popular talking points by complete disconnected people. She doesn't even do the research into what she's talking about.
Have your other stuff. I really think a lot of this is the gas prices. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I have to worry about if the gas prices don't come down. The last time he was in office, we had almost $4 a gallon of gas, and literally within, I think, months of his presidency, our gas significantly dropped. I mean,
did you hear what she just said? The last time he was in office, within months, it significantly dropped. Okay, let's let her continue, and then I'm going to counter it.
Significantly, just
boom. I'm not going to counter it. I'm just going to pull up somebody really fucking smart.
Boom, 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 boom. And I anticipate that being much of the case in this particular one. I know that the gas companies, the oil companies in our country are begging and waiting for the green light. Once they get the green light, the fuel in
the green light for what?
We're already drilling more than any time in history right now.
The green light for what though? What is she even talking about?
It's on her.
She doesn't even fucking know what she's saying.
This country is going to be reopened, and it's going to bring a lot of our costs down. Ours was $1.34 a gallon when he was in office. Exactly. I remember ours here. It took me $20 to fill my gas tank. It takes me close to $50 right now to fill my gas tank. I think the most it took me to fill my gas tank was $26. So,
but then the other day she was bitching about budget cuts for social services and what's happening.
Hey, Cash.
Let's go over to Mr. Global on TikTok. Who knows who Mr. Global is? This is an older video of Mr. Global's, but this explains things about gas prices very well.
Okay, how about we try this? For once, let's have an intellectually honest conversation about this question. I thought presidents don't have power over gas prices. Now, Democrats will say presidents don't have power over gas prices because they don't want Biden to get blamed for high gas prices. Republicans will say that presidents do have power over gas prices because they want to give Donald Trump credit for the low gas prices he inherited and blame Joe Biden for high gas prices. That's just the truth. That's just the fact. In all reality and truthfulness, the presidents do not control gas prices. The notion that they do is simply ridiculous. But what they can do on occasion is take actions to influence oil prices. Donald Trump was the first president in history to take an action to increase oil prices. And
Yo, Beddy, pay attention. You might learn something from Mr. Global. These are things that I don't even know the ins and outs of. I'll go to Kyle with questions like this, or I'll do research and find people who are very educated on these topics that explain it in depth, Beddy.
and thereby increasing gas prices. Now, he wasn't controlling gas prices. He wasn't saying gas is going to be $4. He was just influencing prices upwards. That's the difference between the words control and influence. But he was the first president in history to do that. And when he made his deal with OPEC in 2020, it was the worst deal ever. I've said this 1,000 times. Worst deal ever. 10% global production cut for 2 years is obviously going to raise oil and gas prices significantly. Nothing Donald Trump did before that really influenced gas prices that much at all. He had no control or influence over gas prices in 2017, in 2018, or 2019. Even when he crashed the oil market in 2018, it didn't have that big of an effect on gas prices.
Wait, but Beddy just told us that he brought gas prices down within months of him being in office. He did that. That's what's going to happen again. Wait, Mr. Global, you can't be telling us that what Beddy says isn't true. Could you?
That's because they were already low. So Donald Trump was the first president to influence gas prices in a major way, and it was a very bad deal. Joe Biden was the second president to influence gas prices, but it wasn't through the Keystone XL. No, when you have a 10 million barrel a day production cut that the former president agreed on, a pipeline ain't going to fix it, brother. So Joe Biden decided to release oil from the SPR and sell it, put it on the global market to bring down oil prices. But you know what? That is not what really brought down oil and gas prices. Yeah, because 1 million barrels a day on the market trying to offset a 10 million barrel a day cut doesn't have a lot of impact. So
You can find Mr. Global on TikTok, but he also comes on YouTube with other channels. He was just on YouTube in a live segment with let me find the channel. Hold on. The other day. He's extremely informed, extremely educated, extremely civic media. And they talk about gas prices.
From Russia.
This is from 2 days ago from Civic Media. I will share the link in the chat if you guys want to watch more on their discussion. But let's finish this out.
when the United States was releasing oil from the SPR, there was 5 other countries. There was a coalition of countries: China, India, the UK, Japan, South Korea. All of these countries had to release oil from their SPRs. 6 countries combined, 6 IEA countries had to release oil from their strategic reserves to offset Trump's ridiculous OPEC 2020 deal. People only think of the United States releasing their reserves, but no, it was 6 different countries that had to do that because of Donald Trump. So when you say, oh, I thought the president didn't control gas prices, or you say, well, the president controls gas prices, it's bullshit, you know it. Typically, historically, presidents never influence or control gas prices. Donald?
Oh, but Beddy told us he's going to bring it down right away. That's going to happen instantly.
Well,
Oh, wait, but the tariffs.
And he also said he was going to stop the Russian-Ukraine war within 24 hours of being elected.
Yeah,
So-
there's that
And
too.
instead,
And
what did
it's-
Putin do on Russian state TV? A day after the election, 2 days after the election, posted nude photos of Melania.
Yeah,
So,
there's that.
we
Whoops,
can
that
tell who
did
the
happen.
bitch is in that relationship.
Yeah. If you don't know, that's out there too. That did happen. That happened. This is Mr. Global JJ.
Yeah, nobody wanted to believe that 2025 was a real thing. Oh no, he said he didn't like it. Project 2025.
He had nothing to do with it. What are you talking about?
Oops, surprised you guys.
Trump was the first president to heavily influence gas prices. And Joe Biden was the second because he had to unfuck what Donald Trump did.
Oh,
How's that for a little honesty?
oh, oops, oopsie. I guess facts don't align with what Beddy is talking about. And yeah, they were, CalVal. They were. You can go find many videos by Mr. Global, fact basis. Doesn't matter where you align, what you believe, as long as you're open for factual conversation and him to lay shit down. That man is smart as hell. Like, incredibly smart.
You know, this will help a lot. So that's just really all I wanted to say on that front. We've got a few other information.
All she wanted to say, she supports Hegseth, which, whatever.
I'm
I mean,
actually surprised
whatever.
he hasn't started bragging about Nick Fuentes yet.
Oh, that motherfucker
Your
got
body,
doxxed.
my choice.
Did you see somebody say, like, they doxed the shit out of him?
I
And then
will
they said,
smile.
my house,
I
your
will
house, my
smile
house.
in my mugshot if anybody says that to one of the girls.
I cannot believe the shit that Nick Fuentes said. I just, and people are cheering it on. Like, it's okay. They doxed him, though, hardcore on social media, which I'm against. But they said he was making those comments, your body, his choice, you know, about all of us women. And the women were saying, now that he's been doxxed, they were like, your house, my visit. Your house, me come to
Your
visit.
body, my trunk.
Yeah, they were saying all sorts of shit. I was like, oh, shit.
Here, and this is kind of like a buyer's beware. FBI says hackers are sending fraudulent police data requests to tech giants to steal people's private information.
All of this, I want you to remind everybody here, all of this is being done under Sebastian's name, Sebastian Rogers and Other News. That is the title of this video. We are 18 minutes in and she hasn't talked about Sebastian. She's talked about all of these other extremist propaganda bullshit things that she's factually incorrect on. Again, these very people are out here talking about sexual assault crimes. They talk about it, right? That's how she makes her living, is off of other people's tragedies, pain, and suffering. And yet, ignore all the allegations against all these powerful white rich men that just magically disappear. Ignore all that, though. It's unreal to me that people can sit here and be so naive to these things. I will have to say, though, some of us enjoyed watching Spanky on Brittany's panel last night try to explain what an intelligence agency was. Let me just say, there was no intelligent life on that panel at that moment. It was like sucked out of the room. They don't even have intelligence to explain what an intelligence agency is. One of them, Reality Wins, compared it to NSA. At Night Media compared to NSA. The National Security Administration is being compared to At Night Intelligence, who are two men that walked around a cemetery making videos, with one having duct tape over his mouth and the other one talking about his $1,000 pair of shoes.
I wouldn't be surprised if At Night Media was actually part of Tenant Media.
Tenant Media probably wants the position.
If you don't know what Tenant Media is.
I'm just, well, a lot of them do, because I talked about some of them, some of the big extremists, like my little buddy with the little hands and the beanie that he wears all the time. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The extremist YouTubers, a lot of them are being accused of falling under Tenant Media.
This is insane, because this is, impersonating law enforcement is not good. And we don't know where these people are coming from. Are they coming from the States? Are they coming from overseas? And how difficult is it to prosecute people from, overseas that are doing this? I don't know. But this is very interesting, and it's something that should be worrisome to the public. So I wanted to bring this up. The FBI is warning that hackers are obtaining private user information, including emails, phone numbers from U.S.-based tech companies, by compromising government and police emails using to submit emergency data requests. The FBI public notice filed this week is a rare admission from the federal government.
But they want to get rid of the FBI. They want to
No,
abolish.
they'll just put Dog in charge of it.
Oh yeah, that.
About the threats from fraudulent emergency data requests, a legal process obtained to help police and federal agents obtain information from companies to respond to immediate threats affecting someone's life or property. This is something that would have probably been submitted, say, in the Sebastian Rogers case to help give them some information about, possible persons of interest or investigative tools.
And she finds a way to throw Sebastian's name into this. Imagine that. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, but.
And those have been compromised. This is very, very important because we can't have that kind of stuff compromised. It could literally be life and death. So that's why I picked this story up and wanted to bring it to all of you. The abuse of emergency.
Skip, it really is turning into a reality show.
Emergency data request is not new and has been widely reported in recent years. We've never heard it. Now the FBI warns that it saw an uptick around August in criminal posts online advertising access to or conducting fraudulent emergency data requests, and that it was going public for awareness. Cyber criminals are likely gaining access to compromised U.S. and foreign government email addresses and using them to conduct fraudulent emergency data requests to U.S.-based companies, exposing the personal information of customers to further use for criminal purposes, reads the FBI advisory. Police and law enforcement in the U.S. generally need some kind of legal justification to keep or obtain access to private data that companies store on their servers. Typically, a person's private content, like their files, emails, or messages. Police need to provide enough evidence of possible crime before a U.S. court will issue a search warrant, allowing the police to request that information from private companies. Police can issue subpoenas which don't require going to court, requesting companies to access limited amounts of information.
She's just rambling. Just gonna pick an article, throw a missing child's name in it, and call it a day.
About users, such as their basic account information, username, account logins, email address, phone numbers, and sometimes their approximate location.
Yeah, Kim, good point.
JD Wells, nobody is taking away Social Security. It'll be okay. Actually, you're wrong. It's already on the chopping block along with Medicare. So
we don't know what'll come, but it is on the chopping block.
If you're on Social Security right now, just keep your eye on it.
Yeah, we don't know if
they've already talked.
It's on the chopping block,
they've
but
already talked about it.
A lot of things are up in the air. That's why I said, no matter where you line, we're strapped in for the ride. But people like Matt Gaetz, like there's so many more amazing conservatives that I can say that all day long, and people still are like, oh no, whatever Trump says. No, these people are okay. Anyways,
there are also emergency requests, a procedure which law enforcement can urgently seek a person's information from a company in the event of immediate risk where there is no time to seek a court order. In these emergency requests that federal authorities say some cyber criminals are abusing. The FBI said in its
most of his own party does not agree with Matt Gaetz. They don't want him either. People are like the one representative from Idaho when asked I don't remember exactly what he was asked, but he's like, you've got to be shitting me. Oh, if he had the expertise or the knowledge to be an attorney general. One of his own party, like his own party, are fighting back.
It's advisory that it had several public posts made by known cyber criminals over 2023 and 2024 claiming access to email addresses by U.S. law enforcement in some foreign governments. The FBI says the access was ultimately used to send fraudulent subpoenas and other legal demands to U.S. companies seeking private user data stored on their system. Oh, thank you, Phil. Phil gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Phil thank you. Thank you, Phil. The advisory said that the cyber criminals were successful in masquerading as law enforcement by using compromised police accounts to send emails and companies requesting user data. In some cases, the request cited false threats like claims of human T, and in one case that an individual was suffer greatly or be unalived. Unless the
anybody shocked about this article after what she read last night?
Company in question returns the requested information. The FBI said the compromised access to LE accounts allowed the hackers to generate legitimate-looking subpoenas that resulted in companies turning over usernames, emails, phone numbers, and other private information about their users. But not all fraudulent attempts to file emergency.
JD, he's going to look and see if he can find a source for you that he said that there's audio recordings, but he's going to try to find a source for you that we can share a link in the description or in the comment section for you.
Datakate were successful, the FBI says.
We don't know. Again, he's just saying be careful. That's all Kyle's saying. And like, just keep your eye on it. We don't know. It is up in the air. We don't know what will come of it, but it is being talked about.
MSNBC on YouTube.
MSNBC on YouTube. Do you want to share the link? Do you know how?
No, I don't.
Hold on. I'm trying to.
Hopefully they don't get cut. Hopefully everybody's Social Security and Medicare and everything else stays intact.
Here you go, JD.
But everybody should be prepared.
There you go, JD. I just shared a link of one of the things he found. He's looking.
There's definitely a problem. I'm not going to finish reading the rest of this article. You can find it on TechCrunch. If you're interested in learning about it, this is more of a buyer beware because, you know, this is our information. This is information that could be sought about you. Lastly, before we get into some information related to Sebastian Rogers, I did want to go over some much needed information on a case that we've covered here extensively, and that's the Brian Koberger case, which was originally, and this channel dubbed originally, Idaho 4.
Okay, so we're going to skip ahead because she goes on all these other ramblings, and I'm not interested in that, but I want to get back to where because she just starts mixing things together here in typical Beddy fashion. So we're going to move up to about the 38-minute mark.
Please do. Good morning, Seth. Good morning. I hope you're doing well this morning. We've just been going over a couple of different things. So we have this. This is another comment from a person in email. And so this is what it says. It says LE, the stepfather, the step-grandparent, it says LE has been caught in lies. So has the stepfather. How do we know how long this call is, or if this call is the truth? Because they say so. I don't believe the call took place. Not anymore. The stepfather is the one who brought the call up and pushed it by saying LE already has documentation. The whole point to this long conversation is to establish an alibi, in my opinion. He could have been there and woke her up, had the car parked at the construction site and walked home, entered from the back. Wouldn't surprise me if the step-grandfather helped. Maybe been the father and the step-grandparent, the step-grandfather, coming out with the flashlights. The stepfather going back, perhaps doing this while Katie or the mom was asleep. The step-grandfather or the step.
Okay, once again, factually incorrect. Sorry, I'm over here on another tab. I'm going to back that up one more time, and I'm going to insert a video here that they keep trying to gloss over.
He'd been the father and the step-grandparent, the step-grandfather, coming out with the flashlights. The stepfather going back, perhaps doing this while Katie or the mom was asleep. The step-grandfather or the stepfather leaves out the back and walks to the construction site.
So she's reading an email that's trying to, once again, implicate that there was lights headed to a vehicle. Let's go here because people want to forget that it exists.
Rogers, but with few updates from authorities in recent weeks, there's been...
Hold on, let me adjust your audio right quick.
...an exhaustive search for Sebastian Rogers, but with few updates from authorities in recent weeks, some have wondered, is enough being done?
We're doing everything we can do. Every time a tip comes in, we follow up on it.
Eric Craddock is chief deputy with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and heads up the investigation. He sat down for an exclusive one-on-one to talk about what they do when there are few new leads.
I think in the absence of information, what we'll continue to do is go back over everything we've already done once, put a fresh set of eyes on it.
To that end, Craddock says searchers recently found a pair of glasses, which they are checking to see if they belong to Sebastian. He says the parents continue to fully cooperate. Any evidence of foul play?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
I asked about exclusive home security video obtained from the neighborhood the night Sebastian disappeared. You can see two suspicious light sources, which we've circled here in an area behind the teen's home.
Did they call it a car? Did anybody hear them call it a car? Anybody? Oh, no?
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Oh, wait. I'm sure we just missed. We had to have heard them saying it was a vehicle, right?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know. So yes, it could play a role.
So many are, of course, closely following this case. How difficult has it been, all the noise on social media?
Oh, the rumor mill on social media has done nothing to advance this case.
Craddock says investigators continue to work the case daily and deal not with feelings, but facts and evidence.
Oh, wait. They're not working on feelings. They're not working on feelings. True friends, you can think he's hesitating. They've said very clearly, I can pull up other articles, that there's no indication of foul play, but everything is on the table. They don't know what they're looking at. And that's my opinion based on how many times they've said it, numerous times, many different interviews, especially the April 2nd one. There's no indication of foul play, but everything is on the table. They just don't know. I don't think they have given any indication of what. I don't think they know.
There's no stone left unturned.
Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
And Nick Barris did make an update the other day. In fact, let me go to that really quick. Hey, everybody, just coming in. So Nick Barris, 3 days ago, made a post and says, update on Sebastian Rogers. Several of you have asked me for an update. Here you go. It's now been more than 8 months since the 15-year-old with autism disappeared from his Hendersonville, Tennessee home. It is important to keep his face and name out there so the public does not forget this case. Excuse me. Many have asked about reports of new alleged leads reported by some private individuals who have joined in the search. I am cautious with anything posted to social media and will only report the facts here according to the professionals handling the ongoing investigation. I am in contact with Sumner County's sheriff's investigators and EMA personnel, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and District Attorney Ray Whitley. The case remains active. Some tips continue to be called into the hotline, and this is not a cold case. All that being said, there are no new developments, no confirmed sightings or hard leads. And those close to the case tell me if any private individuals had any leads of substance, they would know about it. There are none. Again, it is like Sebastian vanished into thin air, but there has to be an explanation. The question is, what? Very sad. But no one is giving up, and it is good to see so many remain interested in this case. The goal remains to find Sebastian or learn what happened to him. We all hope and pray that happens. I promise to let you know if and when there is a significant development. Call tips to 1-800-TBI-FIND. And that is Nick's most recent post. All right, let's continue on with Beddy. Thank you all for being a part of this controversial discussion today. Again, please understand, I'm not like coming for you if you're a conservative or anything. Like that's not what this is. Beddy needs to shut the fuck up about shit she doesn't even understand. And again, I'm going to be vocal about these things that are problematic. Matt Gaetz is proba-fucking-matic. Sorry, point, end of story. In fact, I've got one more. We'll finish it out with one more about Matt Gaetz when we're done with this.
Well, in this, I just want to clarify this, and one of the reasons why I started is I believe that the call, because I do believe that law enforcement said something about it somewhere, but maybe they did not. So the question about the call, is it true? Is it not true? The length of the call, it's now being called into question, at least by this audience member. And
Nina, are you trolling? And I'm not asking if you're a troll. Nina says, wonder when they will arrest the Proudfoot relative identified in the latest commentary out of Seth's camp. First and foremost, supposedly they used a fake ID. So how that fake ID led to a relative by marriage, not by blood. I mean, and isn't it funny how that magically happened after At Night Media was asking for people to apply for work from home positions? I mean, come on now. People just need to really like think about that. Break that back. Do you guys want to break that back point by point and ask the questions that should be asked that just don't make any sense? I mean, we can do that. We laughed about it last night, but we can do that if you want.
As far as parking in the construction site, I've always wondered if there was a secondary car somewhere around there. And here's why. Because when we hear the Miss Bobby interview, which we just ended yesterday, she said something that I pointed out yesterday, but I had not really thought about it beforehand. And it was, the car pulled up and sat there for 3 to 5 minutes. Nobody ever said they saw anybody get out of that vehicle.
First of all, we don't even know if a car pulled up. Bobby's a liar. Period, point blank, end of story. We've watched Bobby spin stories from JLRs to Terry Lynn's. We've already debunked that. I'm not even going back down that road. They're taking old rumors and trying to fit them in gaps to sell you salacious stories. That's all that's happening. Bobby has been dishonest about so many things, switched up her stories, but they continue to use her as a fact basis. First of all, I call bullshit on Bobby because if she's saying that's not a trash truck, then why isn't she coming out with the video of when the trash truck actually came through? First and foremost. Bullshit Bobby in her roundtable meetings with the other neighbors that have done absolutely nothing but spread rumors on social media are not helping anything.
Yet, these light sources came from inside the house to the vehicle. Then the vehicle left. One of the light sources went toward the home. And that was all she wrote, so to speak. So is it possible that somebody picked somebody up and took them to a secondary car? I mean, these are all probable. These are all possible things that could have happened, but it's still all speculative because nobody really knows wholeheartedly whether that happened. Now, drives back to RV, waits for the mom to call about Sebastian missing. Sound possible? There's more. Then mom and stepfather phone being used that night, the people waiting in the SUV. I've been thinking about the cave that took a hit but was completely dismissed by police because they said it was unsafe. Where is the cave? Could Sebastian have been taken there and left? No one would ever find him there if he had been there. No one will be looking there. Think about it. Think about what the stepfather keeps saying. Sebastian will never be found. Police don't bring him in. If somebody else was heard talking that way over a missing child, they were responsible for. They would have to have been brought in for questioning. What do you think of this theory? It's a theory, nonetheless, and it could be. There's a lot of questions because we have so many questions around the Lights video that will never be answered until somebody is taken to trial. So we're left to our own devices, i.e. our brains, and what all this information means to each of us individually, and how do we apply that to the case. So in this instance, we don't have the ability to see any other vehicle. We only have the ability to see what was in the video, and that was a definitely a vehicle. And the light sources are going to that vehicle, and they're going to that vehicle before trash trucks come into the community, before the mother leaves the driveway, and then ultimately the school bus comes through the community, followed by a large presence of law enforcement.
But where did you get those videos from? Where did they get those videos from? Missy's Angels, you might be a little late. Beddy was talking politics today and misinforming people on gas prices and where that's comes from. And she was also talking about Matt Gaetz being great. So we just talked about factually things that are going on with those situations. But I'll talk politics all day long on my channel if I choose to. If you choose to disagree, please do. Please absolutely do so. Weird when Beddy has been mixing politics, Nick and Dog and all of those people have been talking politics and had a political agenda all the fuck along. But I guess we're not supposed to counter any of it. Yikes.
So we know that there's something funky with the 3-hour phone call. We just don't really know what. And we have speculated what it could mean, from the drive home to the drive back to a bunch of different, possibilities of what that 3-hour call could mean. We just know that.
And again, none of this is necessary for people on YouTube. Law enforcement is the lead investigative agency and has been all along. They will know what time the call took place, when the call ended, the location of the cell phones during the phone call. Like, that's all stuff that they gathered within hours of Sebastian going missing. They downloaded all of their devices. They know the locations of all of that stuff. Law enforcement. Betty doesn't need to.
That something doesn't sound right with it. At the end of the day, that is really at least the basic conclusion we can come to when it comes to the 3-hour call, is that it doesn't sound right to us. We in our brains can't make it fit. It's one of those things, when something seems odd, it draws you to it. And this is one of the things that seem odd, because prior to,
by the way, I'm not playing referee of the comment section today. Mods don't either. Like, as long as they're respectful to each other, let them debate their different takes. People need to have these conversations. We're strapped in for a 4-year ride, and we need to be able to talk about these things. It's what is going to happen. So if it makes you uncomfortable too, please stay in the bushes. And that goes for mods. But you don't have to, as long as everybody's respectful. But we're not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm not going to sit here and give passes to people accused of sexual assault. Period. Point blank. End of story. I'm a fucking female. And one thing I will do is continue to use my voice to stand up against sexual assault. From the powerful to the wealthy to anybody. I don't give a fuck. Period. This is my fucking channel, and I will stand for what I believe in. And that's something I believe strongly in. Yeah, we're all strapped in on this ride, no matter what. We're all strapped in together. Buckle up. we are all buckled in. And Kyle told y'all his stance. If you weren't here for it, rewind. Hit that rewind button. He is very, very passionate about what he says and how he says it. He is a girl dad.
What do you mean, JD? What do you mean name calling?
Well, JD, I'm going to call Betty all the names, just so you know. I'm going to call Betty the dumbest fucking stupid ass, because you just heard the fucking stupid shit she spews. Kyle's open for a conversation, though, with you, 100%. If you, like, Betty's a dumbass,
Missy's
though. I'm
Angels,
sorry.
If you got proof of that, let's see it.
What did Missy's?
It's okay, but Biden assaulted
Missy,
his
where's
own
your
daughter.
where's your source of that, please? I would love to see that. I'm not, here's the thing is, a lot of men in power, doesn't matter, get away with things like this. Clinton, can't stand him. Like, there's a lot of people that are corrupt in government offices. I'm waiting for a source, because that's a pretty hefty allegation.
She saw it on Rumble. That was it. Or Facebook.
Hell yeah, survivors stand together. Hell yeah, Kim. Yes, I say that all the time. That's why this isn't a side-to-side thing. This isn't a, like, them versus us thing. This is called, these people are being put into offices that people should be rallying around people who are going to do the best for us as a country, us, the people that they're supposed to serve. And most of these people have very self-serving needs. Did she respond?
No.
Missy, please come back with a
She probably
source.
ran off to 4chan to find her proof.
Shut it. I really want to see this. I'm sure she's got a source. She wouldn't say that without a source.
Right.
No, never. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes because I'm really interested to see where the source is. I'll go pull it up. If she's got a source, I will pull it up. Anybody give me a source. I'm not adverse to pulling that shit up. I am not one of these people that is like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking all in on this side. No, I'm not. I right now it's the diary that was stolen has proven his and passages. Where's the source though? But where did you see that, Missy? Where did you see that? Because you're saying the diary that was stolen was proven his. Okay, then there has to be a source behind that. Where did you see that is what I'm asking. I'm not saying that he, by the way, for those of you that might be new here, I don't like Biden either. I'm not a Biden person. So if you're thinking you're going to get a reaction out of me on that, you won't, because I think Biden staying in this race was selfish as long as he did. And so there's that. I wish he would have pulled out way sooner and we could have had a candidate. You know, Harris wouldn't have been a first choice of mine either. But that again is a me opinion. So I'm an independent. That's what I'm registered as, I think. I think I'm registered as an independent. I should be. Yeah, Sam. Mm-hmm. But you guys would be shocked. Like, I come from insane conservative roots. Like, insane. Gigi, 100% agree with you. Jeffrey, you get me. Jeffrey stole my line. Like, I don't think we've had good choices on either side. Do one better than the other? Absolutely. But I mean, it is what it is now. Like I said, we're all strapped in. Let's just strap in and go together. Yes, absolutely, Socks. We're not, we the people aren't what they are interested in. I really hope so, Revival. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm really hoping for. Yeah. Well, there's that. I agree with you. Kyle and I have this discussion.
Voting. We need ranked choice voting. We need to get rid of the two-party system.
Missy said
choose people based on their fucking policies.
Missy said there was a trial on the stolen diary of the daughter. Do you know what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Janice, are you in here?
Alex Jones on InfoWars brought that up about some stolen diary, but they never pressed charges because it wasn't real.
Oh, Missy, please don't tell me you are sourcing Alex Jones. Could you find it though? I would really, I don't think you would source InfoWars or Alex Jones. Missy, you've always seemed to really, I'm sure you heard it somewhere else. If you could find that though, like no problem. I would be really interested in seeing that though, because I have not heard the outcome of that. And I would be interested. Again, I'm not a pro, like over the top Biden versus Trump. No, that's not how this goes.
For a 200-year-old man, though, he's looking pretty good.
You don't really remember? Okay.
He did some good shit, whether you like him or not.
Well, if you can find it or anybody else that knows what Missy's talking about that has a source beyond InfoWars or Alex Jones, would you please let me know? Hit me up in the email. I would be really interested, and I will come back around to it, and we can look at it as a group. I would really, really, I don't mind having these discussions at all.
If that's true, hold him accountable.
I do remember. Yeah. If that is factual, fuck yeah. They all should go down for the fuck shit they do. Every one of them. There should not be anybody in office that has allegations with a lot of proof behind it. Most of these guys do, and they get away with a lot of shit.
Alex Jones
accused of shit like
everything. The Onion News Network bought up InfoWars at an auction. It's gonna be hilarious.
Well, Stella, there's got to be a source out there, isn't there? I'm sure my email will be flooded with sources. I'm just saying, you guys, I'm trying here, okay? I'm not. Missy said if she is incorrect, she doesn't mind being corrected either. That's what we're learning together, right? this is where we've got to like drop the sword sometimes too. And some people like, here's the problem. There's been so much misinformation fed on all sides. I've fallen into it. We are only seeing like certain things. A lot of people don't go research beyond those certain talking points, and they buy into the hype of, oh shit, this is there. Kyle's been having. They bought the diary and misquoted it, Michigan Wifey. Okay. All right. Project Veritas. Yeah. I can't stand Alex Jones. Go get her. I don't have no problem with that. No problem with what you said. Oh, Elizabeth, I appreciate that. A lot of people get pissed about these conversations. Skip, say that, or build houses, or all of that. Yeah, Pika, say that too. Missy, Pika's right on that. There's not. But the new conservatives are not what the old school conservative party is. Most of my conservative identifying friends, family, have conservative beliefs of like the 90s, early 2000s, not this shit. Not this is not even like, you can't even compare it. It is not the old school Republican Party.
I could back McCain, you know, and the old school Republicans, but
I fucking loved Bush, which is crazy to me looking back.
When facts started getting distorted and just flat out lies replaced them, I'm done. For
those of you that don't know, our daughter voted for Trump.
She had Trump flags everywhere.
She had Trump flags all over our house. All over our house. Her first time able to vote. Like, we are all about growth, change, policy, like letting people believe what they want to believe based on the facts. But Kyle and her sat down and had discussion after discussion after discussion and facts, and he would help her like go find different things that she really thought, and they would disprove her, and she would get so pissed.
I taught her how to use primary sources and how to research, just like
Kathy. I grew up in North Dakota on a farm and then was raised in Montana. You want to talk about old school conservative beliefs, and a lot of my family is this new cult type mentality. They're the extremist Christian evangelicals, like the cult. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm like the black sheep of my family because of my beliefs. We talk about it in our house. Sorry, I'll get back to this in just a second. I love this conversation though, that you guys are willing to have this conversation. I love it. And even the people in here that love Trump, a lot of us agree like at the surface level of what we like about what we want seen for the country. We have agreements with that. We might dislike who the candidates are, but at the end of it, most of us realize that they're not doing shit for any of us.
So
who said what?
The Hunter quote, I'm still mad over Hunter's laptop, which had a picture of
somebody got Kyle going.
Had a picture of his dick on it. Cool, great. Nothing else came of that laptop. Money laundering with the Bidens, that's been proven false, that they were loan repayments. It's all been proven. And Kamala using taxpayer money to give gender change to inmates. Which that was enacted in 2019.
Who said that?
That was enacted in 2019 by who?
Lee Michelle.
Trump.
No.
Know your fucking facts if you're gonna spew shit, please.
The
did,
gender stuff
you did
in prison is not
regurgitating Fox News fucking talking points. You didn't look into a goddamn word about it.
No, especially that last. No, you guys, a lot of it. You can like Trump, but you don't have to buy into that shit about I don't like Harris either. She would not have been my top pick at all. But this is what we're saying is you don't have to buy into the insane talking points on either side. And oh God. She said that. But she did. Oh my God.
She said what? No. And Okay, so keeping men out of women's restrooms and all of this shit, these are just like straight fucking propaganda talking points. This is like, that's like the scariest rambling
That's the
I've
least
seen since,
of our worries
since
right now.
InfoWars.
This is insane.
Gender affirming care was approved in 2019 by the Trump administration for inmates. Look it up.
Let's get back to Beddy
They're
because
eating the dogs.
and the cats. Don't forget the cats. I don't like Harris either. I mean, there's
No.
that, but it is what it is. But these are just fucking talking points on both sides that people are. Yes, they are, Vicky. They absolutely are. They are absolutely. This whole thing of you're sending your kids to school and they're coming home with sex changes has got to stop. That whole fucking thing of people believing that you are sending your kids to school and they're coming home with sex changes. I'm fucking sorry, but that's not fucking happening. Willow, fucker. I'm just giving you shit, Willow. You're talking about Colorado. Oh my God.
What do they need to be teaching? What do they teach them at school?
Thor, that was what's his name?
Michelle, what are they teaching them at school?
They're not sending them to school and coming home with sex changes, people. That is not happening. Oh my God.
Critical race theory, the CRT that they're teaching in pre-law?
I can't even believe some of these the people that are saying these things actually though that believe this shit because that's
CRT
not
is
happening.
a college course there, Chief.
And okay, I can understand some of your guys' thoughts on the stuff with the kids, right? Like I can get with some of your guys' thoughts on hormone replacement therapy and stuff for children.
I can explain litter boxes in schools. Do you know why? It's for school shootings.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not for people that identify as cats. Fucking dumbass. It's for when they get school shootings and they're locked in a room.
Don't say that though, because they don't believe that either.
Yeah, it's Beddy about that one.
Put poor Richard Gere out of this. Leave poor Richard. I'm stunned to see some of these. I'm stunned to see some of this. Cranky, some of the people on TikTok are very, very good. There's some real good, but they also are like professionals in other realms that they just use TikTok as a way of talking. Cat turd stop bullets makes sense. Willow, that's not what they're for. Come on now, dude. You know better than that. I know you're an extremist. I know you're a MAGA, but come on now, dude. You know better than that. Somebody else just said, explain that. You want to explain it further? What the cat litter box is?
It's for when kids get locked in the closet of a classroom and they have to go to the bathroom. Instead of pissing all over the floor, they use a litter box. And you know why? It's because they're forced in there by school shooters.
It hasn't gotten sideways, Kim. Neither one of us are. These are things that we talk about all the time. These are conversations people should be having. But again, you're not sending your kids off to school and they're having sex changes. That's not it. That's not. The one school that mentioned it about the cat litter thing, that was what they were talking about it for, was a school shooting and having a litter box in the closet in case of a school shooting.
And then somebody on Facebook said,
yes.
Oh, it's because somebody identified as a cat. Now we have to have
yes.
litter boxes. It's not reality.
Well, I agree with you about that. Exactly. A litter box in the closet is hardly rational. Treat the issue, not the symptoms. I agree with you on that.
Ban guns. Okay, cool.
But
let's talk about it.
They won't want to. They won't want to do that either. But people are using people's sexual identity, like they're doing all this fear mongering shit. To see people believe that our children are going to school and coming home with sex changes is something that I just struggle with. But again, I have kids in school, so there's that. And then they want to abolish the Department of Education. Anyways, let's get back to Beddy, because you guys can spew all the crazy shit. I feel bad for a lot of people that believe these things.
Look at when that went into action. It was 2019. Was Kamala president then?
Kamala's not even president, period, point blank. I mean, was she president in 2019? That's a pretty easy. Lord, it's weird to see these talking points get brought up as like basis of fact. No. Why can't we all want the same things? Why can we all not want people in office that are covering up sexual assault crimes? Why can we all not want better for our fellow human beings and their right to choose what's best for them? Like, why can we not all want those things? Buckets. Sorry, Michigan wifey. You said that wrong. It wasn't litter boxes. It was buckets.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
they keep saying.
But they
boxes,
keep using
so
litter
I just-
boxes. So. Smiles, that happens. But it also happens in schools, Christian schools too. There's some over the top things that are happening in like Texas, where they want to replace mental health professionals with chaplains that don't have any background on being chaplains. I miss Heels for these conversations, because Heels and I would debate about things and we'd go back and forth and we would talk about stuff. And she'd be like, oh shit, you got me on that one. And I'd go back to her, oh shit, you got me on that one. Like, we'd have these discussions because we were polar on opposite sides, but we both learned a lot in our conversations. I miss Heels for these discussions like this, because she was very much like stuck in her ways on what she thought. And her and I talked about the chaplaincy in Texas quite extensively. Okay, we're going back to Beddy now. Willow, there's some really weird numbers with this election. You brought it up, not me either. So there's that. Oh yeah, Smiles, it does. You know, and the insane stuff happens. Like, we know the extreme stuff does take place. It does. There is basis in some of this, in some of these places, but the talking points that people use of this is happening everywhere, that this is going on, it's not.
You
It's
got
not.
that right, Thor.
Willow there. No, Missy, you're good, but I would love to. You're not an idiot. You're not an idiot. I would just love to see the source of these things. If that's true, if these things happened, then all of these people should be held accountable. I am totally against people with power and money getting away with the fuckery. I'm against it across the board. I don't give a fuck where you align. Yes, MK, absolutely. And it's still divisive. It's still extremely divisive, and it's only going to get worse for the next 4 years. Vicky agreed. Vicky agree. 100% agree. It's scary. And I don't know. I am so for people choosing what they do in their homes and who they are as, like, no, I don't think the government should have say in that stuff. But then again, that's me. Let's go back to Beddy, because Beddy thinks we're all stupid. So there's that. We can all agree on Beddy being stupid.
You know, the statement from the stepfather, we're in a public statement nonetheless. We were under the impression that this child went to bed at 9.
Basically, strap in, get your helmets and your fucking waders on for the next 4 years. I'm scared for people I love, that are LGBTQ, identify as transgender, whatever. Like, I worry for those people, because they are emotionally struggling. A lot of them are very, very emotionally having a hard time with shit, rightfully so. And it bothers me, because I support them having the same choices that I have. If I want to love a man and live with a man, that's my choice. I support everybody having those same choices, no matter whether I agree or live that way my own life. That's where I stand. But fuck all people in power who are corrupt and get away with sexual assault and things of that nature. There's my stance.
9 p.m.
It's pretty fucking simple. It's pretty fucking simple to me. Don't be a shitty human being.
Yeah,
It's pretty fucking simple.
That at 10 p.m. the mom fell asleep on the couch, and about 11:30, right before midnight, the mom woke up and went to bed. That's kind of what we knew. And then we get this bomb kind of dropped in the middle of our understanding of what happened. My math ended at, well, yeah, it's about, it's almost 2 hours, I think, 2.5 hours or something like that. It was at, so it was close to 2 hours long. I think people were saying 9 to midnight, 3 hours, but it really wasn't a 3-hour conversation. It was extended conversation. I agree with that.
Thor, you always get Kyle to giggle.
And we know that the call came in at 9:43. The reason why I do believe the call did happen is because it sounds like somebody from law enforcement spoke to them about that and probably had the very specific time and said, well, didn't you receive a call at 9:43 and stay on the phone? So it just seems a little odd for me. I do believe that the phone call
Everything's odd to you, Beddy.
does exist, and I believe he tried to explain it away publicly before it became public. I think he was worried at that time that the information would be public, and he was trying to get ahead of it and kind of told on himself. That's really what my theory kind of bodes in with, more than it didn't happen at all. But I guess there is a possibility that it didn't happen at all because it's something that wasn't corroborated by law enforcement.
Lee Michelle, I don't think most people are teaching their children to be gay. I don't think that's, again, but
how do you teach somebody to be gay? Nobody could teach me how to get down with another guy. Thor, do we want to?
I don't think that's being taught, again, but I'm trying to ignore some of these and get back into Beddy, and I'm seeing some of them. I'm just like,
I'm with you, Aries.
I don't think I wasn't taught to be straight. And I don't know if that's what you're saying, is that you think people are being taught to be gay, but I'm just going to walk away from that because I will get fired up on that shit.
And it was something that only the mom and stepdad discussed. So unless somebody has independent verifiable information from law enforcement that it truly did happen, then I guess we could say that it's possible that it didn't. But I think because it's been talked about so much publicly by both the mother and the father, or the mother and the stepfather, I think that it is true. It truly did happen.
Okay, Lee Michelle, you got my attention now. Let's go here. Do you know how many people with brothers or sisters play dress up when they're kids? A lot. Just because you're playing dress up as a kid or dressing in girls' clothes, or your sisters decide to put fucking makeup on you, doesn't mean that they're trying to teach you to fucking be gay. For God's sakes, please stop with the fucking ignorant bullshit. That's not teaching somebody to be gay. There was one point in time in this fucking world that was commonplace. Playing with your brothers and your sisters, playing dress up. Having an older sister that wanted to practice her makeup skills on dad or the brother. That is not teaching somebody to be gay. It is ignorant and embarrassing that that's even thought of. Do you know how many people suffer because of being bullied and picked on, harassed and targeted because of who they choose to fucking love? Should you have the same because you choose to be straight? Since when did being straight become the right thing? Oh, because the fucking Bible, a book of fairy tales, tells you so? That many different religions believe differently? I can handle a lot of fucking ignorance, but that's where I draw the line, because that insults people I fucking love and care about. And how dare you think that people are being taught to be gay? I didn't know somebody had to teach me to be fucking straight. And who gives a shit if men wear makeup? Some of the men that people worship as celebrities have worn makeup way before. Rock bands. Who gives a shit? How is it impacting your life? It's not. You think it's going to rub off on you like the flu. You're going to catch it. Oh my God, stay away from me. I might catch your gayness. Like it's a fucking germ. Some of you ignorant fucks are out here using transgender as an insult, thinking that you're insulting somebody, especially me, that gets thrown at me all the time. You're insulting me saying I look like a man, or maybe I was a man. You're not insulting me. You're looking like the fucking buffoon you are. You're insulting an entire community of people who have fought for their fucking rights to be who they want. Their life doesn't impact yours. Are you sure, Willow?
Don't lie.
I know I can say that shit to Willow because Willow's got thick skin. I just can't even fucking believe that shit. Like, I cannot believe that's coming out of your fucking mouth. I cannot believe, like, you know what? Go sit with my fucking family. The fucking crazy bastards who think that it's going to rub off on you, or, you know, if you're a man, sucking a dick is wrong. I didn't see in the Bible that it says sucking dick if you're a male is wrong. I didn't see that fucking passage in there. This fear of things that are just ridiculous. Abso-fucking-lutely. I know, Willow, I appreciate it, especially in this climate. Yeah, I thought Christians were... Lee Michelle, you cannot come back and say, no, I love all, when you just said that people are being taught to be gay for playing dress up. Those two things don't mix. You can't give a but in there. Either you love all people and respect their right to choose what they fit and want in their lives, or you fucking are fooling yourself here. People are not teaching anybody to be gay. That is ignorant and irresponsible comments. Right, Willow? Willow, tell me when. I'll be there. Ooh, here. Okay. Okay, though. Now we're going. Michigan wifey. King James had the wording change from laying with children to laying with men because he was a pedo.
Whoopsie.
Ooh. Michigan wifey coming in with some facts today. It is fear. Absolutely, Kim. It's fear. It's fear. But it's stuff that's ridiculous and we can't tolerate anymore because guess what? We're strapped in for the next 4 years side by side, whether we like it or not. We are here for the ride, but we could at least respect each other and each other's choices because what I do in my home doesn't affect any of you. What you choose, who you choose to love isn't impacting me. Just because I don't want to munch some carpet doesn't mean that my choice is any different than anybody else's or I'm better than anybody else. And I sure as fuck wasn't taught to be straight. Oh, I could say a whole lot right now and I'm just going to back the fuck off. I was actually taught that you can sexually assault a minor child and cover it up with God's word, right? That's what I was taught. I was taught that you can molest your own and God will fix it. Or it's called trading addictions, from sex addiction to using religion as a tool of disgusting. I wasn't the only one that was taught that, though. Many millions of people are taught that. Oh my God, V. V. Don't start the swinger shit. They already tried that one time over here. Yeah, Amy. Some of you probably don't want to really have some of these conversations because there's a lot behind these conversations for a lot of us.
Honey Badger didn't want you to skip their comments.
No, fuck no, Honey Badger, no. No. Please understand, I do not stand for any of that shit. Not as far as abuse or anything like that. Consenting adults, let me be very clear. Consenting adults have the right to choose. Consenting adults. We're not talking about minors here. There's no justification for molestation, sexual assault, any of that. Even adults or minors. No, consent is consent. Vicky, right? And I don't care what you believe in. Your beliefs, your religious beliefs, those are yours. But I am so sick and tired of being told that I'm a fucking evil bitch because I don't believe the same as some of you. Well, I've been on the other side of it and had people weaponize the Bible for evil fucking wrongdoings. So I'll sit in my trauma while you sit in yours. But don't tell me that you're a Christian who loves all when you're one of the most judgmental, ignorant fucks I've ever seen. That's pretty simple. No means no, exactly. Smiles, yeah. There's a lot of that stuff on the science of things. Like we could talk about some of that and stuff like with children. Yeah, for sure. Oh, Sam, I'm glad you feel comfortable here. Honestly. Terry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just saying what these are conversations we have in our home though. Like these are conversations that we talk about. Like these aren't things I'm just talking about on here. Like this is what it is. Like some of my best friends are Temple Recommend Mormons, but they're good ass people, good ass amazing people who don't try to do evil shit to people and cover it up with their religious beliefs. Some of my real good friends are parts of cults still, but they don't do evil ass shit and try to cover it up with their belief systems. Those exist in every little pocket around us. It's not a one size fits all. It's not a like, I hate all Christians. No. I'm an equal opportunity hater. If you're a fucking vile piece of shit, you're a vile piece of shit. Doesn't matter how you mask it with religion, politics, any of the shit. None of it. Right? How boring if we were all the same. Hey, Murph. Absolutely, Amy. I know some of the most amazing people that have extreme religious beliefs. Right, NorCal? That's a good question too. Like we were talking about that. We've been talking about that too. Like, how do we actually see change? Oh shit! Did you really, Willow? That doesn't shock me though. The few times I've tuned in and like that doesn't shock me. But you have that. How do I? Not aggressive. You're not aggressive, but you're like, let's throw down over this. But you're the type that you're not your typical debater, in my opinion, of like, fuck you if you don't agree exactly like me. Like you can debate something and have a very opposite stance and then still like shake hands at the end of it. And still be like, yeah, I mean, you're going to do what you want to do and I'm going to do what I want to do at the end of it. Like that's where you know that people aren't going to change just off of the shit you say. Politicians just want to pad their pockets. I agree with that too. Yeah, and unfortunately, racism still exists. And extremism, yes, it still exists. Very much so. It's just time to say enough is enough for all of this shit for our fellow humans. Oh, NorCal, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. Oh my God, Kimberly Joel Olstein. Oh my gosh. The love of money, right? And the corrupt. These people are fucking sick at the core, right? A lot of these people that we're talking about are just bad humans. They might have money and power and some influence. They're no different than the piece of trash They just got away with it. Like and that's what I wish people could see. Oh, Terry, I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, dear terms of service. It's a little, it's crazy to me that we're in this. Oh, see, Willow, that's what I was trying to say. Like, you always fall back on 95. Like, you find a common ground to like wrap it up with. That's what I get from you. That's why, like, you're one of the few that you see it what it is, right? The internet. I've heard you say it over and over again. It is what it is. Like, we're going to disagree on certain shit, but there's more things that connect a lot of us too. Like, that's just kind of your attitude that I get from you. And I appreciate that. Especially because there's not many men in this space that aren't fucking weirdos, Willow. Let's be honest. If we're being honest in this little sector, a lot of the men, and this is no shade to any of the men in here because there's some incredible men in here, but a lot of the men in these like sectors are a little weird. The men over here, I can handle. Okay, let's go back to Beddy now that I said that. See, NorCal, Jim, those are great things. Drive people to the polls, move on voter registration. You know what, NorCal, one thing I will say is I've never had so many people come to our door this year. This year was huge as far as people door knocking. Yes, Kim, 100%. We need solutions together because none of these people are really for us. They're all for them. Let's be honest. I unfortunately was. I was. And I had to learn for myself as an adult. Well, thankfully I wasn't like that as a teen either, but I was. Oh, Vicky, I love that. See, I need more of you. Vicky, I might need to connect with you though, because I need somebody that knows what the hell they're talking about in the political sphere, because we need laws. We need a bill. We need something to protect victims and their families. Yes, Air Force vet, we are. Yep. And we're all strapped in. We're all riding this ride together now. Absolutely, Donna. Grown-ups can give consent. Children cannot. Right, Tracy? I don't understand that line of thinking. Let's be honest, I am too. But I was shunned for it. I was shunned for breaking that cycle. Think about that. Because I choose to not hate people based on their skin color or their choice of who they love. I was shunned for that. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. 100% okay with that. Because my chosen family would never. Never, ever. Just because we're blood related doesn't mean shit. That's why I get really, really irritated when people blame family members, or like if you have pieces of shit in your family and they're your blood relative, like we don't get to fucking choose who we're related to. We're not responsible for their fucking behaviors and their crimes. That's a them thing. As long as you're not condoning it and agreeing with it and helping it, you know, all those things. Oh, Donna, I forgot that you're, yeah. Thank you, Rainbow. Yeah, Willow, right? Right. Fuck me. I make Biden jokes. I would say Kyle, but he doesn't really make jokes about either one of them. I mean, he does, but not really. But neither one of us, like, we would sit there and go, oh my God, no. Like, both of you, you're embarrassing for both of, like.
I totally understand the Biden thing. I was not that happy about having to vote for an 80-year-old man, but
no,
I wouldn't be that happy about voting for a 78-year-old man either. I mean,
or somebody that was civilly liable for sexual assault. Like Kyle said the one day, he was like, what's the difference between being criminally or civilly? Like, what's the difference? Sexual assault is sexual assault. Petty ass pills, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the cabana. Oh my gosh, Missy, that we agree on. The SNL, The last 4 years and upcoming, SNL has been up on their game for sure. For sure. Okay, you guys, let's get back to the one we all do agree on, that she is out of her realm, but she's just spewing shit that doesn't. Thank you all for being a part of this conversation, though, today, and taking part of it, whether we agree or disagree. Like, there's very few things that you're going to see me like. A lot of my friends, I hope you guys understand that a lot of my friends are politically completely the opposite of me on surface level. But when you start having the conversations with those people around you, we agree on policy things. We agree on human rights issues. Like, we agree on the core things. A lot of it is based on what they thought were the focuses and what I thought were the focuses of what was going to take us to the same place. We all want the same things. We want better for all of our fellow human beings. And a lot of us made informed or uninformed decisions based on what we were fed on social media and other places. But I'm not going to hate somebody and choose to hate them because they voted for Trump. I'm just not. But I'm strapping in right fucking next to you and saying, you signed up for this shit. You know, you're coming along for the ride. Let's go. I mean, seriously. Okay, let's go back to Beddy. Bye.
But again, it doesn't fit in because we were told the mom went to sleep at 10 p.m. It makes it very difficult to fall asleep in 13 minutes when you're on the phone with your significant.
Willow, that's one thing that I am staunch about establishing with Beddy. Beddy is the newest extremist propaganda pusher that doesn't even know what the fucking baseline of what she's talking about. She talked about gas prices earlier. She talked about Matt Gaetz earlier. Like, this whole stream started off with Beddy in her politics and making conservatives look foolish because that's what she claims she is. She's not. She is not at all. And I make it very clear that Beddy does not represent any conservatives that I know. She represents the extremist offshoots that are just Beddy's
significant other and just got on the phone with a significant other. And what person is going to sit on the phone on a dead line while you're studying and not talking? It just doesn't seem plausible. I mean, I've been on the phone with people that didn't talk very much and they still communicate, but that conversation didn't last for, more than a few minutes. It definitely didn't go into the hours of listening to nothing but dead air, so that's why a lot of people, in my opinion, have a problem with that whole section of time, because when you kind of break it down, it just doesn't mesh together. It's too confusing, and life just isn't normally like that. Would she be studying and falling asleep while she's studying? Yeah, I've been to college. It's happened to me. Heck, I'm here researching. I told you a number of times how many times I'm sitting here researching and didn't even realize I fell asleep.
I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit on Beddy falling asleep during research because the facts show us that Beddy doesn't really research. She just spews bullshit. I mean, we saw that earlier. So research, no. Falling asleep, probably. But during research, no. And where did you go to college that you fell asleep all the time? The paper mill? The degree mill that you went to?
Researching until I woke up, But that does happen. But I've never been on the phone with someone when that has happened. And if I had been on the phone with somebody that's happened to, I would have most likely hung up the phone, or somebody would have hung up the phone with me. So that's where it gets a little confusing. You're on the phone for 13 to 17 minutes and your significant other on the other end of the phone just falls asleep on you, and you're still on the phone and wake them up an hour and a half later. I mean, when you break it down and you listen to what they're actually saying, that's where the confusion sets in my opinion, related to that particular topic, and why people have a hard time believing. I either believe she was on the phone talking to him the entire time, which we're probably going to end up finding out is true, versus falling asleep. Just my wholesome opinion of the situation. Also coming from another watcher here, this is something that is making its way around. So crime sleuthing had a few years ago, I think it was.
Oh, this cracks me up, though. This cracks me up. So for those of you that don't know, Crime Sleuthin slithers her way around all over the place. Many of you know that I don't fucking like her. I didn't like her from the jump of what Betty's about to talk about, even though I came on this app not liking Betty. Crime Sleuthin was just one of those people that was recording calls and then releasing edited versions of calls to paint a narrative against them. Well, she was trying to be just one of them. Like, if she would have been accepted by that group, she would still be sitting with that group. So this fucking cracks me up because Crime Sleuthin just tried to go on Tiffany Marie's panel the other day when Tiffany was exposing nonsense. Yeah, okay, whatever. She took the opportunity to go up and talk all this shit about me. Well, she ended up getting railed in the comments and a lot of people bringing up shit that I had nothing to do with, absolutely nothing to do with. So it spun into this whole new world of Crime Sleuthin getting outed for all the bullshit she's done. 99% of it, I don't know or am not. Yes, Willow, that's who. Yep. But she brought this all on herself. She claims she took a break off social media and she was going to come back, you know, but now she's blaming everybody for what happened to her channel. Ma'am, it's you. You're the problem. You're the issue. And I love that for you, that you went up to try and fuel the fire and throw gas on and the exposing of nonsense that I'm such a scummy piece of shit. I am just the worst of the fucking worst. You were going to go up and, you know, have an audience with Tiffany Marie to do that. You know, you and BJ were all hyped up. Let's go. We're taking nonsense on. You fucking chicken shit bitches can't do it on your own, but okay. And you have to do it based on lies, but there's another story for another day. But Betty's going to give her a once over here, and I'm here for it.
In 2022, tried to pass off this alleged conversation that her and I had, or something like that. I can't even remember what it was. And so it sounds like she took a whole bunch of little clips off lives, pitched it down so you could barely hear it, and then chopped it up because you could hear the seams in the calls where the stuff was chopped up. People laughed her out of the chat rooms, 2 years ago, because people that do this knew it was manufactured, knew that it was stitched together. And I have to only assume that that's what's going on now, that's kind of rearing its ugly head and people once again still aren't believing it. So I don't know. That lady I just stay away from. She's not true crime. She's not good. We were working with her for the Kylie Rodney case. And she was recording, like when we were doing, trying to put the case together and analyzing and stuff like that. Like she was recording those. Nobody was recording those. And she never produced those, but those were the stuff that she was recording of both me and Chronicles of Olivia. That's really shady. When I work with people, the last thing I'm doing is recording our conversations. Well,
that's a chronic thing with Crime Sleuthin, though. She records her conversations. She recorded Todd Terrell of the United Cajun Navy and tried to involve herself with the JLR stuff. That was another thing. She edited a TBI flyer of a missing child. Like, there's a few things that I could pick out that I have problems with, but she's got massive problems with a bunch of people that I don't even know about, nor are they like my fights. I just know about a few basic, simple things, and I know enough to stay the fuck away from her, and she ain't welcome anywhere around me. She's been blocked over here for like 2 years and will remain blocked over here because her and her stupid little sidekick alter personality stop the grift. Yeah, I don't play games with those people, but watching Betty throw shade was pretty fun.
We're having about a case. To me, that just showed how slimy she was, even when we were working a case. And nobody on these streets have very much respect for her. She's a basket case. She's got some major, issues going on with her. And I wish she would just either do her thing or just leave the true crime community. But it's not for me to decide. To each their own. Everybody has the right to be here, but they don't have the right to manufacture stuff and lie, without being called out. And so it sounds like people are, because of the prior one, I think people already knew it was smoke and mirrors. But I know for the new people that have never seen it, it's just that. If you listen to the audio, you'll hear it's all choppy, it's all seamed together. It's absolutely it's just manufactured. I don't know what else to say. Sebastian's Army. Hi, buddy. I don't want to read that. I'm a huge supporter of you and Sebastian's Army. I've been following this case since March. I have come to so many conclusions and speculations in my opinions about this whole case. For a while now, I've had
One Red Rose. Thank you for being here, and thank you for coming out of the bushes and saying something today. You guys, these are conversations we just have to have as adults. We have to have these because the shit that's being used is dividing us further, and we've got to find common ground to get through all of this together. It's just where we're at, and it's a lot of people won't talk about this stuff and mix it in, but when you take all of these things back with Beddy, what At Night Media, all of that, there's political undertones in all of it. They've been pushing propaganda throughout all of it. People tiptoe around it, and I'm just not one to do that, because I've been saying this is what's happening right. I mean, look at the fucking bullshit that At Night Intelligence wrote the other day, like, and they keep trying to use, oh, they're Trump's appeals attorneys and all this shit. Like, the political shit is right here, and we just can't skirt around it anymore. So I appreciate you all being here and being a part of the conversation, even if we agree to disagree. Doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. Besides, we're all strapped in and on a ride of our lives.
Had the conclusion that him being taken from the house was planned, and it was planned out very well. In my opinion, the stepfather had organized some type of taking of Sebastian from the home. I truly believe someone does have him, and they are hiding him. I know that there was problems finding scent when dogs came to the home to search for Sebastian the day he was called in missing. I've had something on my mind and wanted to reach out to you.
So these are emails that she's reading. Remember that emails from her subs.
To put it out there if you'd like. I think that there is no trace of him leaving the house, because obviously he did not leave the house with his own shoes and socks on. Point taken, his shoes or socks. I truly believe he was wearing somebody else's shoes and somebody else's socks. And then that part it looked like the conversation got cut off because they put it in the subject line and not into the body, so it got cut off. From my understanding, all other shoes for other people in that home were accounted for. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was stated multiple times that all shoes for the household were accounted for. But just wanted to throw that out there in case somebody else had the same type of opinions. And there is one other one that I wanted to. And this is it, and then we'll kind of.
And Willow, people like At Night Intelligence are using that political climate and the distrust and the fear mongering and everything to do more of that too. Polarizing a missing child's case. Like that, they are inlaying that shit into noble causes like finding missing children, trafficking, like things that really need attention put towards them. We do have a problem with situations like this, but they are using them to polarize these topics even more. And it's horrifying. It's truly horrifying, but agreed again.
To have a discussion. We're at the top of our show today anyways. We will be back with a little more on this case and other cases this afternoon, as I do videos throughout the day as well. And I have it, hearing tomorrow that I've got.
You want me to back that up? Yeah, she says that a couple times throughout this one.
All other shoes for other people in that home were accounted for. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was stated multiple times that all shoes for the household were accounted for. But just wanted to throw that out there in case somebody else had the same type of opinions. And there's one other one.
Did I not go back far enough? I might not have gone back far enough, but yeah, she does acknowledge a couple times that she could be wrong on some of these things because there's no proof to back it up. When you start pushing, I wish Beddy would come have a debate with me. I wish Beddy would come and have a debate with me over the facts, because the facts of this case are very minimal. Very minimal. When you take it right back to the baseline, there's not all this shit. And when you push on Beddy with the facts, she has nowhere to go, because there's just none of this stuff has been said factually by law enforcement. They've emotionally pulled people in with all this hoopla to make you believe stuff, but it's not there.
And this is it. And then we'll kind of have a discussion. We're at the top of our show today anyways. We will be back with a little more on this case and other cases this afternoon, as I do videos throughout the day as well. And I have it, hearing tomorrow that I've got to prepare for. So I'm not sure today will be kind of a hit and miss day, but I wanted you guys to see this.
Everyone that had contact with Sebastian looking for any inconsistencies, and they are asking the public to provide any ring camera videos, not just from Sunday night when they believe.
I'm not crazy about the
the
voice. It's too far out.
Does anybody know this channel she's playing? It's called Shay's Safe Place. Does anybody know that channel or watch that channel? Hey, Nash Native. I would love to debate Beddy over the facts of this, though. She would never, though. Stella, thank you so much. Willow, I absolutely agree with the comment I pinned of yours, too. Again. Baton Rouge, thank you for the gifted memberships. Seriously, highly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Welcome to the cabana, you guys. If you got a gifted membership, tell Baton Rouge thank you. Oh, okay. So she used to be on the... Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about her. Not at all. But that's the channel Beddy is using this video from, is Shay's Safe Place. I'm going to speed it, or I'm going to cut it back to normal so you guys can hear what's actually said in this video, though, because it's just a bunch of misinformation again, or using salacious pieces to try and paint a narrative.
I'm not crazy about the voice. It's too far out.
So she's using a video from that Shay's Safe Place, and you can barely understand what's being said or anything, but it's interviews that Chris was talking on. Again, here nor there, law enforcement is investigating. A lot of this painting of Chris in a certain capacity doesn't matter because there's no evidence to back up that he did anything, and she'll actually kind of have to say some of that.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to put the platform down.
Yeah.
This video is so chopped up. It's so hard to follow. It's so hard to follow. Of course, Beddy's going to use it.
You are a person, Chris, but you're not the actual victim.
Nobody's ever said he was the actual victim. Again, you can dislike Chris all you want. Doesn't mean he's guilty or has anything to do with the disappearance of Sebastian.
It's happened to me for 3 years.
Shut up, Beddy. This ain't about you. And by the way, it's not doxing when you come on here and scream your own fucking name and address. Benny Ray, thank you for the gifted membership, y'all. Whoever got that, thank Benny Ray. Yeah, Austin, there's nothing really to be understood besides Beddy just tried to make it about her. Chris was talking about doxing and blasting people's, like, the victim and their families' information on social media. And Beddy was like, it's been happening to me for 3 years. Bitch, again, you've been on this app screaming and hollering your address and your name to people for years. That's a you thing. Again, you're not a... No, shut up.
Can't be said.
Years go by, we have no answers. In my opinion, I think that's what you hope for, not answers. I think everybody has to understand. I didn't say I'm not upset. I didn't say that. Why would you be upset with Seth? Why exactly? Passion. When Seth is ready to sit down and have a conversation, and that conversation would be something between me and Katie and nobody else. In that conversation, we will have to bear out some differences. But I will say this, the likely odds of...
This was such a great point that she tried to make. Nobody can understand it. It's amazing. This was drove home, Beddy. Great choice.
Jim and Katie sitting down, I don't see that possibly happening. Just because she
Well, because she's in bed, and that would mean she'd probably have to go to her office to her computer, even though laptops are movable. Wolfie, if I understood anything this bitch did, I would be a millionaire.
I don't.
From what I'm understanding,
That I don't understand, because there's a lot of mothers that sit down in situations like this directly with the father.
So she's trying to make excuses, or, you know, they're trying to shame Katie once again for Katie not having conversations with Seth. Again, I go back to, they weren't having conversations before Sebastian went missing. Those went through Chris. And I'm sorry, but for anybody in these comment sections, can you blame Katie for not wanting communication with Seth? I can't. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I will not fault Katie for not wanting to have conversations with Seth. That ship, he has used people like Beddy and others to continue the abuse of Beddy. He has continued to abuse Beddy. He's continued to abuse Katie by using people like Beddy and others constantly. And I'm sorry, no. I think no. And then expecting her to just be like, oh yeah, no. Because if he was, they say it's for Sebastian though, she's not thinking of her son. If that would have been Seth's reasoning, he would have never came out on the attack and using everything he could to target and attack Katie, in my opinion. So they can shame her all they want, but I fully support her choice of protecting herself.
Of their child. So I don't understand that statement. I know that for a fact, an absolute fact. So I don't know what that has anything to do with why
Absolutely.
they can't sit down together.
you proud tits won't talk.
You should probably just stop trying to like understand why parents do this and that. You know, you condoned a lot of the shit that's gone on and you have no clue. You just got Katie's child, her missing child, Seth and Katie's missing son's name tattooed on your body. So you should probably just stay out of these arenas of having any thought or opinion, Beddy.
Talk to Seth.
For example.
What they doing is correct. No, I don't. I'm not condoning it. However, what it is doing though is it does keep Sebastian's situation, not Sebastian's name, situation unfortunate. So it's not necessarily allowing the case to go completely cold, but yes, a lot of
I'm sorry, but that video is just, it's too choppy. It's too all over the place. It's too much this, that. The dramatic effects in the background just aren't landing because it doesn't matter if you like Chris, Seth, or Katie. We don't know who's responsible or if anybody's responsible for Sebastian's disappearance. But again, trying to like emotionally pull people into these narratives is gross. And this video does not do any of it, but go on.
have pulled back from what I've heard. A lot of the drama, a lot of the they said it's a lot of mental stress, honestly. And I understand that. But I'm begging and I encourage people to please take the drama away, cool. But just don't forget that it is a 15-year-old autistic child that we are all looking for. He's our son. He is. Thunder County is almost like the Thunder County child. Well, I guess fortunately for everyone else, Chris is not our boss. He might be Katie's, but not ours. Where is Sebastian Rogers?
Ma'am, if somebody had the answer to that, Sebastian would be home. I mean, there's that, but you can continue to ask that question and act like that. Oh, we're going to ask Chris and Katie, where's Sebastian? I mean, oh God.
So I thought that was a pretty cool video. That was put out by Shay Space.
Of course you would think of
Good
it.
evening, good evening.
That was a Shay Safe Place, I think is the name of the actual content or the content creator, Shay Safe Space. And I thought that was put together pretty good. So I saw that somebody had sent that to me this morning.
Beddy.
Thought I would show each and every one of you.
Well,
I totally disagree. I do think he said something about
I will be honest, I almost did a review of Prayer Garden of America one time because she was trying to insert herself in Sebastian's case. But that woman, wow, is all I can say. Like, everybody has access to the internet, and that's a great example of that. Holy shit. That's a wild ride.
you know, there's just things that they can't say. And I believe that. There's a lot of things that can't be said, not because law enforcement told them not to, is I just truly believe that if they said what they know,
Absolutely.
there might be some heavy consequences to it. I really do.
Murph, it is so resemblant to what Tim Ballard, how they established OUR, how they tried to use Elizabeth Smart. They tried to tell, and they told the media that there was a merger between the Smart Foundation of Ed Smart and Elizabeth Smart with OUR in the beginning foundation of Operation Underground Railroad, Tim Ballard, The Sound of Freedom, for anybody that might not be following what I'm saying. What they are doing is very resemblant of that whole thing. The news media in Utah reported that there was a merger between the Smart Foundation and OUR. That never happened because once Ed and Elizabeth got further in, they realized they had no aftercare. They had none of these things. Like all the talk was there. They used the media to drive this whole narrative that they were, you know, rescuing people in these third world countries. Meanwhile, it was a bunch of wealthy, rich Mormon, mostly men that were flying to third world countries, getting prostitutes, abusing women, and acting like they were heroes, and they weren't. You can go read all this stuff. You can go hear the documented things from people that were there. But yeah, it's very similar to that whole thing and the whole foundation of Sebastian's army, this one world initiative. Like, it's so similar to things that we've seen before with using noble causes.
That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Still living in America the last time I checked. So that is what it is. Obviously, this channel.
Vicky, there are people that I adore on this app. Like, I really like these people that think he is a hero, that refuse to see the truth, that refuse to realize that he used and did so much damage to trafficking. There's people, and these are people that are smart, intellectual, research driven, and they cannot find their way out of that. And it's so weird. But I guess I got a front row seat to it in Utah too. Tim Ballard's like worshipped. It's fucking weird. And anyways, I could go on a whole tangent about that.
It's not alone. It sounds like there's, you know, some odd Vinnie Politan is speaking out, you know, about his feelings on the case. Nancy Grace has spoken out about her feelings on the case. Umpteen different professionals that have done this for a living have spoken out about their experiences and what they believe on this case. And none of them are boding very well. The professionals are not boding very well in the mom and stepdad's behavior.
The professionals like Chris McDonough, Jennifer Koffendorfer, who, if you want to call them ex-professionals, feel free to. Doesn't mean that they have, do you guys realize that scumbags, liars can be considered professionals? Like, that can happen. People with extremely bad track records can be considered a professional. Doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean shit when they're not even following the facts themselves. There's that. But you also have people like the professionals, the behavior panel, who did an analysis and didn't find anything wrong.
And storyline and everything. And they're putting it under the microscope themselves. Obviously, you know, local media is not. They have more at stake than, say, national media. So you don't really get the investigative reports, the hard-hitting investigative reports from the local media in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
The hard-hitting investigative reports. Are you fucking joking, Beddy? That's not what we're getting with you either.
There's a lot of reasons for that. They are being controlled by law enforcement and what they are allowed or not allowed to say. These national conglomerates, they could give, a rat's patootie about some Sumner County Police Department. They want the truth. They're saying things aren't smelling right. Things aren't looking right.
Sorry. I'm sorry, but Betty. What? Hey, Crimson. What? It's not smelling right. What? Because sniffer in the air said something? Like, what?
And we're trusting them. We're trusting their assessment. We're trusting an intelligence company that's working around the clock to find information. At Night Intelligence Agency
I got that pulled up. We're going to look at that again.
is working around the clock to find information. We're trusting them. We're trusting the people that are actually getting off their butts to find the truth. There's nobody in this world that can prevent
Willow, it's her dollar store tablecloth. Be nice.
somebody from moving freely in this country and locating the truth. That's how
Nobody restrained your movement, Betty. You just were in Tennessee and got a tattoo. You just went to Tennessee and got a tattoo. Tell me again how you're restrained. Come on now. Get real here, people.
that's how the freedom of press works in the
not
United
yet.
States of America. Government cannot control this.
Yeah, she admits a lot,
Okay.
moderator.
So a lot of people have spoken up about this case. We've had the Lore Lodge, and do a deep dive into this case. We've had many professionals that do this stuff for a living that have.
The Lore Lodge tells folk tales.
Cat the Doggy Hunter.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a fucking great name.
I mean, seriously, though, the Lore Lodge, I was going to do a whole series debunking the Lore Lodge, but at the surface, there was nothing in there that they really based fact on. They used emotional bullshit from one side to paint a story. That's it. It wasn't even worth the time or energy to do it because it just frustrated the hell out of me because they didn't care about the facts. The facts were very basic and they needed all this other shit to complete their series. And they used every emotional thing about what one side versus the other. No, fuck no.
It used to once have badges on their chest.
She's referencing Chris McDonough. Anybody want to remind people of the case in California that Chris McDonough fucked up? And I can't remember what he was actually called, but he's quoted as something in that's not very good.
Okay. They're standing up and speaking up. So there's a lot of people that really don't believe the story. Now, the outcome might be different from person to person. For example, there's no evidence that any hair on this child's head has been hurt. There's evidence.
Oh, wait, let's back that up one more time. What did she just acknowledge?
Person. For example, there's no evidence that any hair on this child's head has been hurt. There's evidence that something happened outside of the house with a vehicle. That's a possible way to remove this child from the home and remove that child from the community.
And again, there's not evidence that there was a vehicle. We don't know. You just heard law enforcement say that they don't know what that was. Hold on. Let me remind people once again, if you're coming in late, to what law enforcement actually said.
Sebastian disappeared. You can see two suspicious light sources, which we've circled here in an area behind the teen's home. Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No,
Why?
because the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know. So yes, it could play a role.
So many are, of course, closely following.
There you go. Not once is it mentioned that it's a vehicle. But okay.
Doesn't mean that child's hurt.
Gotta get my plug in.
For many of us, I read between the lines and say, this is not normal. People don't get picked up at 3:00 in the morning. Parents don't lie about what.
Betty, people get picked up at 3:00 in the morning all the time. Didn't you tell us that there was a thing in Florida called tow and go where they just come pick you and your vehicle up when the bars close? Didn't you try to tell us something about tow and go at one point in time? I mean, come on, people. People get picked up for the airport. People leave for work. Like, we don't know what was going on. We don't know what was going on. God, it's just so stupid. And they say that, well, that's not normal. Well, people in neighborhoods do leave at 3:00 in the morning. They do. We don't know if somebody was leaving, coming, going. We don't know what those lights were. I gotta plug you in.
What they've done and where they've been. People that are, say 3.5 hours away have no need to be the only one with a secret timeline when everybody else, all two other parties that are associated with the case have all but told everybody what their alleged alibis were.
And again, it's not secret. Even the PI that was working on behalf of Seth, we've gone over that at Web Sleuths. I mean, come on, Beddy.
So a lot of things that are going on are what's making us feel that something bad may have happened. The length of time is another probability in that factor, is another direct result of that factor. Nobody has seen this child, no hide nor hair, nobody, dealing with him having a meltdown and doesn't know what to do anymore and needs to send him back home. There's no prescriptions being filled for this young man. So it kind of eliminates a medical type of facility taking care of him, because there would be, if he was in a medical facility, you've got insurance paperwork, payment paperwork, medications to fill. That stuff is really hard to hide. That's digital footprints that can be easily found. Very difficult.
Why is Beddy going against the team's narratives lately?
To hide those footprints. And there's nothing. We've just got parents that are ready to get on with their life. They've already chalked this up in 8 months that this is going to turn into a Summer Wells case, and they're not going to know for years to come. So they have to go ahead and move on.
No, that's not what was said. Goodness gracious, Beddy, that's not what was said. Willow, if she gets to slip sliding around in the Diddy case, that would be interesting. She'll get ran right out of that.
That's the explanation that you just heard on Shay's Safe Space. It's just time for them to move on. So those are types of things that really cause the rest of people like us, especially when we look at our own children, or for me, I don't have a child to look at. I got a Delilah. And I keep thinking what I would be willing to do to find my dog. And this is my dog, not my child. And I would move heaven or earth to locate where Delilah was, if say for any reason she got loose. She was trafficked, doggy trafficking.
Are you fucking joking right now? Are you fucking joking? Doggy trafficking?
It's a big thing, and she got jailed. She went to the hospital, doggy hospital, doggy jail, I'm taking, a little less the road. But what I would do, you guys all have animals. Most of you have animals when your children are gone. What would you be willing to do to find your beloved animal? That's an animal. It's not even a human being. I know some of us like our animals a lot more than we like our human beings, but this is a child, not like an a-hole. Just saying. Hey, Gaetz, it's nice to see you, my love.
She's completely fucking lost it. That's all I gotta say. She's lost it.
So I don't see us just moving on with life and ready just to move on after 8 months when we really haven't even given it a real try to locate, right? We've watched who they've associated with.
Well, thank you for admitting that nobody's really tried your team, but you keep telling people that your team has been out here doing all this stuff. So law enforcement tried. We all know that. Like, law enforcement and their response and their presence was exceptional. But thank you for acknowledging that your team hasn't really tried. And so now 8 months in, they're going to give it their all. Okay.
And the abysmal failures that they've got on their team. So how are they really putting forth effort? It seems like they're putting forth all the people that are willing to destroy and hurt.
Yes, you guys, she did say doggy trafficking. She did.
Good one, Crimson.
The reputations of the people really working around the clock to try to find answers. They're trying to ham me up. They're trying to ham Nick the Hat up. And we have to remember,
nobody's trying to ham Nick the Hat up. Nick's doing what Nick does. Like, okay, we're laughing at him.
Nick the Hat has brought in a hell of a lot more resources than we could ever even have imagined. Okay, the man's a good guy. He's here for the right reasons. He wants to find this boy. He's not taking no for an answer. He is, just working.
He's working. The last time we saw him, he had duct tape on it. Well, no, he came out since then, but he had duct tape on his mouth walking around a cemetery. That, giving it his all. Go, Nick.
His company is working. Dog the Bounty Hunter is working.
Dog's on a fucking press junket tour for his book, doing talks and meet and greets at churches. What?
We're working. And I know you guys are too, because every day my email is filled up to its absolute max with emails from you guys reading stuff, always keeping Sebastian top of mind. That is the beauty of social media in the
Emotional manipulation.
true crime genre, because we have so many tentacles out there watching all different stuff. And the great thing is you guys are all interested in different things. So, I mean, I do get a few duplicated emails from people, multiple people watching the same thing and sending it to me. That's how I know that there's something in there to look at. So I like it. But you guys are working too. And you guys know how hard you're working to find answers for Seth and the family to locate Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So just keep up the great work. We're moving heaven and earth to try to find this young man.
It took them 75 people, 75 of Beddy and her little tentacles to compile that list of exhibits. I want you to think about that for a moment and look at those exhibits that we've gone through. Like, think about that. It took 75 of them to get that done. Yikes.
He will be found. He will be found. And we have to put that out there in this atmosphere. You know, the positive vibes of he will be found, because he will be found. He didn't just disappear. It's finding out what happened. When we figure out what happened, hopefully it'll locate us directly to where Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is. I pray to God we bring him home and bring him home safely and swiftly. It's been over 9 months, or damn near close to 9 months. And this child needs to be brought home. He needs to be placed with his father, and they need to move on with their life. And this whole nightmare that they've been living in needs to end. It needs to end sooner than later. So that's what we're advocating for today, guys.
That's what we're advocating for today.
Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is out there, and we need to find him. So please don't stop the emails. Please don't stop watching channels. Please don't stop sending stuff to people.
Please don't stop watching channels. But wait, she's going to flip that in a second.
To make sure that we can have a fighting chance for the safe return of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And please, please, please stay off these horrible channels that get nothing right, that are only here to manufacture and disseminate false and misleading information about these cases in an effort to help the people responsible for where we're at. We've got to stop supporting them.
So she's saying that there's people responsible for where we are at, huh? But you don't know what happened. So how do you know that there's people responsible for that?
Financially, and we've got to stop supporting them with our views, because that's telling them every time they see those view numbers go up, they're doing something right. Keep on going. When we remove those views, you'll see them change their attitude very quickly.
I ain't changing my attitude whether it's one person watching or 5,000 people. Sorry, not going to. Laws need to change to protect victims and their families. That's just what it is.
If we want the drama out, then kick the drama out. You guys are in control, not me. So let's put the control back into your hands, and you guys start praying about this and figuring out what you want to do. Is it worth it to you to look at?
Oh, some faith manipulation. Can't get out of there without that.
I can tell you and promise you that people are monitoring these channels already. So we don't need hundreds of people going over there to check to see if they can find any information to report back. We do.
Oh, so scary. People are monitoring our channels.
Have people already taking care of all of that. So let me just save you guys the stress and the anxiety of dealing with their BS. There's no need to. You're welcome. Your day has been lifted. You can have a happy and bright day, and you don't need anything weighing you or dragging you down. What we do need is to locate and find any information that will help bring Sebastian home, any information about people or potential people responsible for his disappearance. We have analyzed this case, and it is my opinion that this child didn't just walk out of this house. This child was not abducted. This is not a third-party stranger danger situation. Even if he's missing, even if this is a custodial thing.
But I thought you didn't know what happened.
Again, it's not from a third party. It's from people that knew this child. Statistics are proving right in this case. So let's follow the statistics, look at the statistics, understand.
How are statistics proving right in this when we don't have any answer? Beddy, slow down. You don't even, you've lost the plot.
And what they mean. And that's where your research should begin. So, all right, guys, I love you. God bless. Thanks for hanging out with me ridiculously early. I've got several videos. I've got some stuff to put together. I will be up and at it here shortly. But since I was already up doing research, and of course our baby Delilah is laying here also peacefully and quietly and lovingly, we're going to stay here while she's good and calm and, not running around the house and tearing her toys all to, what. So for those that are just coming in, if you guys haven't had your dose of our beautiful crime fighter Delilah, here's your beautiful dose of our crime fighter. She is the mascot of the Bullhorn Beddy channel, and she loves you all just as much as she loves me. Nah, she loves me more. You can say hi. Say hi, everybody. I love my mommy. I love my mommy, and she spoils me.
Oh my God, no. This bitch said doggy trafficking earlier.
My baby. I do love my baby, and she's spoiled rotten. And I know she's about to go over my neighbors, my best friend's house for when I go up to Tennessee. It's going to be cute. Delilah wakes up a little earlier than most people would imagine. She's ready to rock and roll, and then she's ready to crash. After she gets you all up and awoke, then she wants to go lay down. Go figure, right? Kids. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say
Willow, that reminds me, I came across a clip the other day. Hold on. Let me see it. Hold on. I found an old clip. Oh, babe, will you grab the stuff on the doorstep for me? And just set it on the counter for me. Thank you. Hold on just one moment. I found an old clip. Let me pull it up. Nope, wrong one. Okay, I'll pull that up right quick. Oh, thank you for becoming a member, Cat Lady and Kim. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, well, she's finishing out. I got an old clip. Willow just reminded me.
something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Don't forget, $175,000 is being offered for any information leading to the safe return of Sebastian Rogers or the successful prosecution of those involved with his disappearance. You know, we are fighting an uphill battle. This child has not been found again, or has not been found since he disappeared. And I need, you know, if you guys put stuff out there to law enforcement and law enforcement didn't get back to you, please consider reaching out or emailing Dog's team. You know, it doesn't hurt for a second opinion or somebody to look into something that was previously reported to law enforcement that went nowhere. You know, if you believe that it is something very important that was overlooked, please, 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 I'm asking and begging you to reach out to 833-TELL-DOG or to their email. I think it's manhunts at, oh crap. I don't remember what the email is. Hold on.
The fact that she can't remember the email after she tried so many times last night.
Need to give you guys the right stuff.
The team is failing really bad. They had a struggle with that new memo that they all were supposed to run with. The one that got it close enough and like really attempted to sell it and was really committed was Crime Time Buzz. But Beddy and the rest of them are failing with that memo. They're struggling with the memo.
The right stuff. Wasn't that a song?
Yes, it was a song. Okay, let's have a laugh right quick and then we will wrap this up. Okay, this is from a channel called The Exposure Arena, and this is, I don't know whose channel this is, no clue. From November 26th, 2022. This is just for a laugh and a reminder of some of the history here. Again, I'm not sure who's. Oh, Molly and Beddy.
Wow, Bullhorn Beddy, you're the talk of the town. Holy shit, Bullhorn Beddy. What the hell? Bullhorn Beddy is fucking Dolly Vision?
Willow, this is for you.
Holy shit. I saw a video. I was like, what?
Lee Michelle, you're totally fine. I'm sure there was a misunderstanding somewhere in there. Yeah, you're totally fine.
Dolly Vision's girlfriend.
Why they gotta do Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock like that?
Women, all of us, we need to start taking our positions that a lot of us, some of us are trying to grab a hold of that strength and make something of our fucking lives and use that fucking power and strength to build a society of fucking women. But then we have these ones that are just trashing because they're jealous of us. They hate powerful women.
Right.
They hate women with balls. And you guys see it.
Yeah.
They don't like people like Candace Owens. They do not like leaders. They do not like people with big mouths. They do not like educated, strong, fearless women.
Yeah. That's what this is.
They
Yeah,
go
and then even with like that chick, like that bad cabbage chick, you know, they're violent. They don't have they're not strong women. They're violent women. They use intimidation. We use our brains and our mouths to rise up.
You bitches better fucking chat the fucking super chat out of me.
This was when she was in Key West in Florida. Oh my God.
Fucking message. I even super chatted the fuck out of Diane. I'm so desperate. I just came out of you better bitches better fucking chat Shemer. Super chat me the fuck or become a fucking message. Or else I'm gonna fucking
They use insults and other tactics, but definitely not strong women material.
You little fuck.
Oh, she was wasted. She was in the back. Oh, she was. Yeah, Molly was gone. Yep.
Get the fuck out of here with your fucking camera before I shove it up your fucking ass.
Because without Bullhorn Betty, you would literally not get a fucking paycheck this month.
All right, there's a woman in here that seems to want a lot of attention for a very long time. I will highlight you now.
Yes, Willow.
Okay,
Yes.
Lady N, who just lost your cat of 22 years. Like I said, I'm sorry about 15 minutes ago about your cat that died. Now you're trying to say that I'm drunk because of my speech. And now the people are telling you, since you've been here for an hour, I'm drinking water. I do have a brain tumor. I have a lot of headaches. And sometimes it does sound like I'm slurring my speech, or I'm just not as swift as I was before I got Bell's palsy, or articulate as I was before 2015. The way the words come out.
Let's get some fucking French toast. Okay. Here we are.
Actually thought about having a fake glass of wine here. Like you could buy a fake glass of wine.
I love the fact that these two are in these clips though next to each other, like bouncing back and forth off each other, how amazing they are, and everybody was so jealous of them. And now they're fucking fighting like cats and dogs. It is comedy gold. Truly it is.
Really? I had a real glass of wine last night. Sorry. Not sorry.
I thought about it and just been doing wine and crime and blah, 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 and having people think that I was doing the thing drunk, because guess what? That's a great marketing fucking, holy shit. A drunk crime commentator?
No.
Holy shit.
You need to relax, Judge Judy.
Maybe we can get some sponsorship from what's that? What's the one? Barefoot. That's the one. That's the bottle of wine I like.
That's cheap shit. I want.
Come on, I'm a cheap bitch.
Blancos.
Easy.
Casamigos Blancos, motherfucker. Okay, Casamigos Blancos tequila, $1 billion. All right. George Clooney sold that shit for $1 billion. If we're gonna sell our fucking souls to the fucking alcohol industry, I'm selling it to fucking Casamigos Blancos, all right?
That's the one thing I will say. At least Molly's stupid rants were at least funny at times. Like you could fucking find laughter in there.
She goes hard in the paint.
Molly the other day, when Tiffany was trying to drag me, Molly hops up there, and they're not even talking about me. Crime Sleuth had derailed everything, and Molly's in there like ASL interpreting what is being said and like mocking the shit out of both Tiffany and Crime Sleuth. And there's a video of me on the screen, and Molly goes, "Can you get that fucking heifer off the screen?" Like, even Molly didn't want to look at me because she knows, like, it's so fucking funny. Oh my God, these people are so ridiculous. And that's why drag me all day long, every single day. Please do, because I will never be anything like you guys, and I'm good with that.
It ain't gonna be barefoot. Isn't that shit like $5 a bottle?
No, I get the big bottle. It's 10.
You're not pretending anymore. You're plastic. Cold, shiny, hard plastic.
Curfew, 1 a.m. It is.
You guys remember when I turned Molly and Mallory into white girls? When they had their little overnight stay, and I turned them into the... I did that. Those videos I think are still up too.
110.
Did you have an awesome time? Did you drink awesome shooters and listen to awesome music and then just sit around and soak up each other's awesomeness?
You know what? You're the one who made me like this, so you could use me for your 8th grade revenge.
God, see, at least me and Regina George know we're mean. You try to act like you're so innocent.
Petty, absolutely. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, am not a Molly fan at all. I think she's the scum of the scum. Don't ever get it twisted. But at least in her scumminess, there was some funny moments because you just can't help but laugh. Like, she's the only person I've seen in baggy sweatpants be able to stand up in a baggy pair of sweatpants and have a moose knuckle. Like, she has some impressive techniques that she can handle. Yeah, that was one of them. Like, there's some funny moments in there. Her ripping a black tar face mask off and you could see the skin pulling was funny as fuck because it was painful as shit. And then she milked it for all it was. But there are some funny moments in there of her just being herself.
Like, oh, I used to live in Africa with all the little birds
You
and
will
the
be
little
fine.
monkeys. You know what? It's not my fault you're like in love with me or something. What?
Oh, no, she did not.
See, that is the thing with you plastics. You think that everybody is in love with you when actually everybody hates you.
No, I was drunk the other night. The other night in Key West, which Buller and Betty, they had a huge feast. The internet went crazy. You would think, I guess I went viral and around the world, but really just this tuna sector. The roach community went crazy because I was in Key West, right? Alone.
Oh, yes, she did.
And I had 4 Belvedere's with soda and lemon.
New Leaf, I don't know if she does or not. I have no idea. She's had a lot of things that she said over my experience with her, so I have no idea. She's never, to my knowledge, shown proof of one. But I don't know.
I paid the bill, left $100 tip, walked back to my hotel. I didn't get into a car. I didn't drive. I didn't hit anybody. Didn't kill anybody. Didn't beat anybody up. Didn't stab anybody. Didn't do anything like that. No.
I have that original.
Nothing like that. And then all of a sudden, I'm walking. And guess who gets pulled over walking by a cop?
That's called public intoxication.
And he was like, "Aren't you on that episode of Wife Swap?" And she was like, "I don't fucking know."
Me.
Ma'am, can you walk or no? No. Why? Why can't you walk?
You're arrested.
Why can't you walk? Ma'am, you need to stand up, okay?
Talking about like the Roach motels, and I was like, it's no longer a Roach motel; it's like a Roach resort. And everyone's just being disgusting. Bullhorn, keep going with what you're doing. Pay no attention to these crazy greasers.
Just don't know anything anymore, I guess. Just would have never believed a greaser could pull something like that.
Greaser didn't have nothing to do with it.
I thought that was funny as shit. That came up in my timeline the other day. I was looking for something else and that one came up and I was like, oh yeah, there's so many good clips out there. I have the original, I'm pretty sure parts of the original stream when she was in Key West, Florida, when she was peeing on live stream and she was screaming, like, oh man, them two. They used to proudly support each other, that's for sure. Okay, so I must be blocked by At Night. I don't know. Nick's got this up though. Hold on, let me go to the post. Give me 1 second. Is this the 10 point? Nope. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can find it. Well, where did they post it? Maybe they don't have it up. The post that they read last night. Does anybody? It's not on Nick's page. Give me a second. Let me see. And At Night, it's not on their website. And yes, by the way, I have no problem going to their websites and stuff like that because I don't care if they know I'm looking. I don't care if they have my IP address. Come for dinner, Nick. I'd cook you dinner. If you'd have to get permission to leave the state, but I mean, I'll cook you dinner.
Yeah, and I'll take you out in the desert and show you some cool things.
Scorpions.
Yeah.
There's amazing scorpions in the desert. I mean, honestly though.
How to dig a hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to pluck his brain. That'd be an interesting conversation. But yeah, it's not on their page either. So I don't know. The team must have just been sent this information. I'm not really sure where it's at. It's not under the corporate news filing. Not really sure. They've got some of this stuff. One World. See, they don't have this. Just all started. Somebody said that they were a company before. No, unfortunately, they weren't. Can you guys still see what I'm clicking around on? Yeah, you can. Okay. Sophia's comment. Got you. They took it down today? Well, that could be. It's not up. It's not me. I'm not Dumpy Dump. Yeah, I don't know where it went because it's not on. So at night, let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. There might be. So this is one. This is their pinned one as of 38 minutes ago. November 11th. They don't have it up. So they must have taken it down. Oh, wait. Oh, here it is. Okay. Got it, finally. Public update on the search for Sebastian. You guys can see. Yeah, okay. Found it. Search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Since our last update, let's just go. You guys have heard these. So new developments as of today. Clearing tips at night has systematically cleared several dozen tips from Washington, Oregon, and surrounding regions. Working closely with licensed investigators in each state, we are reviewing and investigating every lead to ensure nothing is overlooked. So first and foremost, on number one, I would push back. So they are acknowledging that they are not licensed investigators. They are working alongside, or they claim to be working alongside licensed investigators in those states, but they are not. So there's the first thing on number one that I would point out. It's also interesting that they say that they're clearing tips. So those Oregon tips had no substance to them, but the team continues to spin those. Number two, active surveillance in 8 states. Surveillance operations are now underway in 8 states, spanning from Clinton, New York, to Seattle, Washington. Findings from these efforts are shared with the respective state authorities and the FBI's DC field office, with whom we forward material to regularly. Again, why would you forward it to DC when it is the Memphis FBI location that's involved in this? I mean, here's that. How did you pick those specific 8 states where we don't know he could be in anywhere? So what is specific about those 8 states only? There would be my pushback there. Number 3, call for continued vigilance. We urge the public to continue submitting tips, especially in Tennessee and surrounding regions. I mean, that's common sense. Please remain vigilant. Report any suspicious activity. And if you know something, say something. That's common sense. Again, we are committed to uncovering the truth and will persist until every lead is followed. Okay. Law enforcement is actually taking tips. 1-800-TBI find. If you know anything, call them. Dismantling obstructive networks. This is where it gets interesting. To date, At Night has dismantled 3 networks that have interfered with efforts to locate Sebastian. So who has interfered and where's the proof of this dismantling? So 3 networks. They're not listed. They're not named. We have not seen anybody get arrested. We have not seen any type of interference. Law enforcement has not stated any of this stuff, but according to these guys, they've dismantled 3 networks that have interfered with efforts to locate Sebastian. Again, nobody's been charged with criminal interference or anything of that nature at this point in time. Our team has been instructed to treat this as a criminal investigation. Okay. And all right, that's your team. Utilizing the same methods we employ to dismantle criminal financial networks. A missing child and comparing it to a criminal financial network. I mean, okay. We are actively countering any attempts to obstruct our search. I don't think anybody is attempting to obstruct anything personally, besides pushing back on the misinformation that you guys are intentionally putting out here. But that's just, again, my opinion. It gets more interesting as we go on. And these are the things that the team are not even pushing back on. And like when you try to ask them these questions, they're like, I don't know. So ongoing briefings with incoming administration. This is where it gets really comical. At Night continues to meet with the incoming administration 3 times weekly on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Sure. Providing detailed reports on investigative challenges. Yeah. Including interference from hostile witnesses and individuals of interest. So who's the hostile witness? And what are they a witness to? And why would the incoming administration be concerned with a hostile witness about something we don't even know what they witnessed? Like, what are we talking about here? And why only Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays? So they cleared their schedule to meet with you guys Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays because they have nothing else going on, nothing more pressing going on. Huh. Interesting. Additionally, we've been connected with the soon-to-be U.S. Attorney General to discuss increased resources and support for a swift resolution. Again, that's why Matt Gaetz was mentioned last night, and hence why Beddy is supporting Matt Gaetz. And there's that. Who do you call when you need a fixer for a scandal? According to Mr. and Mrs. E, their channel, not mine. Nick the Hat. I mean, you do the math there. I have no idea why they're in talks with Matt Gaetz. No clue. Anyways, there's that one. And then it goes on. Let's see. Number 6 says they are identification of misinformation, ground zero. At Night has located what we believe to be the origin point of targeted misinformation and hateful content that have derailed the investigation. First and foremost, nothing has derailed law enforcement investigation. According to what we know, law enforcement is still investigating. But again, people, the team should be asking, like, where's the proof of this? Where is the proof that somebody's content, and why aren't they being charged by law enforcement if it's derailed the investigation? We are collaborating with the FBI and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to pursue criminal charges against individuals and entities responsible for this interference. So are they trying to allude to somebody being in Florida? Because why wouldn't they be working with the Tennessee? Oh, wait, because it's not coming from law enforcement. Again, yeah. Advanced data analysis through One World. Tips are currently being uploaded into One World's data center, where they will be indexed, categorized, and analyzed using advanced AI technology. Okay. This system will help identify anomalies and critical patterns over the coming weeks. Critical patterns of what? What? Attempted infiltration of At Night systems. We have confirmed that 2 individuals attempted to infiltrate At Night systems by using fake IDs to apply for employment. How'd you know they were fake IDs? During the interview process, they provided information that allowed us to conduct background checks and identify pertinent details. So you're telling me that during an interview, you started running background checks? That seems like a little hasty to me. Usually isn't there laws that usually you have to sign for a background check? Do they know you were running a background check? And if they're using fake IDs, wouldn't that also be something that would be reported to authorities and potential arrest be made? Huh. And did that stem from your at-home positions of 2 hours a day working on behalf of you guys? Is that where you tried to bait people to send you a resume or all of that stuff so you could later on do this weird claim? Is that what's happening here? Again, there's no proof, so we have no idea what actually is going on. Number 9, connections to persons of interest. Further investigation revealed that one of these individuals, mentioned in number 8, is connected to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers through marriage, not by blood. The second individual is believed to be wanted on unrelated criminal charges involving trafficking. Again, an arrest, if they are wanted for criminal charges and if there's a warrant out for that person's arrest, I'm sure you would do the public a safety thing right there, you know, and because you guys claim public safety is. So where's the arrest? This would be breaking news. This would be all over mainstream media. If somebody was involved in this type of BS around Sebastian's case, this would be breaking news. Oh, is it because there's no proof of these? Maybe? I don't know. These individuals have been reported to authorities. Where's the reports? And further investigations are underway. Oh, okay. We remain deeply appreciative of the public's ongoing support. We urge anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward. Together, we will continue working tirelessly to bring Sebastian home and hold accountable those who obstruct this critical mission. And the crowd says, another riddle. Another Find Waldo. No, but they're running with it. It's just another distraction in the next 8 days, 7 days, 6 days, whatever we have left. They're just trying to distract everybody from their word salad and the riddles. They throw out these riddles and their team runs with it, tries to amp up the narrative, and it is. Oh, really? From the Hettinger area? Yeah, Murph, I was born in Williston. I lived in Arningard, Watford City, Wilton, and New Salem. I've got family all over North Dakota. Cammie, yes. Her and Queen Bee have court tomorrow. Yep. Oh, and ECB, absolutely. Absolutely they are. They're trying to make people, they're using it for fear-mongering. Uh-huh. And their team isn't even pushing back. They're like, oh, I don't know. And you ask them questions like, what's an intelligence agency? And they're like, well, you know, they can like track IPs and stuff and like get data on people. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, Lisa, I love Bismarck. I freaking love Bismarck. Love Bismarck. I have a lot of family around there. A lot of family. That's right outside of Wilton. Yeah, Rainbow. Yep. She doesn't have internet now until the 16th. Is this her way of getting out of court? Well, I mean, she'll have data on her phone, though, to zoom in. So that doesn't help her with court because you can use data for, like, her data plan. So she'll be able to, or go to, like, Starbucks. Plus, she's got a hotspot. Doesn't she have a hotspot that she travels with? Yeah, and you see, it's really interesting to see that. All right, y'all, I'm out. Yeah, library, Starbucks. She can use her data. Data. Go to McDonald's, right? Like, there's all sorts of ways. She's doing Zoom. Yep. From my understanding, they do Zoom hearings. Oh, reversed images. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Sorry for people that got offended with me hitting it head on. Like, we're going to have these conversations because there's a lot of things inlaid in this stuff and they're using the climate and everybody's like emotional state to inlay some of this stuff and continue the fear mongering. And people like Beddy are just spewing complete nonsense, bullshit. Like, I want better for all of us. I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on. We're in this ride together. We're buckled up. We're strapped in, and here we go. But I really hope that people start having these conversations. It really disappoints me that so many people, adults, are afraid to have these conversations and afraid to tell people where they lie, where they stand. Because if you can't stand up and have a conversation like this and respectfully disagree with people, or not even respectfully, flat out fucking disagree because of you wanting better for other humans, like, I don't know, that's pretty weird. People want me to talk about all the bullshit and the drama, and I'd rather talk about things that as a country are dividing us further and further when we need more unity than anything. Same thing for me, but I wrote those people off. Willow, thank you for being in here and lightening the mood today too, and like having some back and forth. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I like these conversations. I like when Kyle's present for these conversations too. And here again, people will be like, you know why people are so afraid of these conversations? Because they're afraid to fucking lose subs. They're afraid to stand where they stand. They're afraid to tell people who they really are and what they believe in and what they value. And even if you don't know, like there's things I don't fucking know about and I have to go to somebody else for understanding or go to the experts or people I look up to for the facts. But it really pisses me off to see that people are so afraid of hurting people's feelings and losing subs. They're not afraid of losing or hurting feelings. I shouldn't say that. They're afraid of losing subs. They'd rather collect subs than have tough conversations of how we can get through this together. Like that's chicken shit to me. That's fucking chicken shit to me. You can't, when people like Beddy are inlaying it and everything, and this case has been used and it's continuing to be used for all of this propaganda pushing, nah, Fuck yeah, Willow, I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, autism. Yes. Oh, thank you, Mercedes girl. I'll gladly hurt feelings. No, not really. I mean, I will. Certain people's feelings, Sean, I have no give a fuck about because I just don't have time for the ignorance or the bullshit. I have kids that this shit impacts. I have a family that this shit impacts, and ignorance is never going to get us anywhere. We're not all going to ever agree on shit. We're not. We're just not. That's what fun would that be anyways? But if we can't have these tough conversations online with online strangers, how are we having these conversations in our homes? We're not. We're skirting around the tough topics to make everybody feel all nice and comfy. Now, if I can't have these conversations on here, I'm not going to have them in my home. And we have them in our home all the time. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for hanging out.
See you later. Stay safe out there. Strap in. By the way, I get to pick whoever rides the ride with me sits next to me because I don't like pukers. And I'm not holding your puke bag for you because you strapped us into this motherfucker. So if I have to sit by you, I'm not holding your hair. You're on your fucking own. You're holding your puke bag. You're holding your fucking hair. I ain't doing it. I did my part. I'm just joking. Bye, y'all.